Where the engines roar, V-Speed's a name you can't ignore. We're the kings of the track, yeah, we run the show. Ain't nobody else that can come close. V-Speed's the best. We light up the screen, blowing past the rest. It's a mean, mean machine. We take the crown, leave the others in the dust. Say it with me now, 'cause in V-Speed we trust. We trust, we trust. We don't just talk, we walk the line. While the others choke, we shine, 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 shine. Turn up the heat, crank up the sound. V-Speed's the force that shakes the ground. V-Speed's the best. We light up the screen, blowing past the rest. It's a mean, mean machine. We take the crown, leave the others in the dust. Say it with me now, 'cause in V-Speed we trust. Let them try, let them fight, they can't compete. V-Speed's the fire, can't stand the heat. We're rolling thunder, we're lightning fast. We're the future, they're stuck in the past. To the last lap, V-Speed's the name they can't unwrap. We're the voice, the speed, the southern pride. With V-Speed, you know we ride or die. V-Speed's the best. We light up the screen, blowing past the rest. It's a mean, mean machine. We take the crown, leave the others in the dust. Say it with me now, 'cause in V-Speed we trust. Yeah, you know what to say, 'cause in V-Speed we trust. We're the kings of the broadcast. In V-Speed we trust.
Yo, it's dig. We rev it up, no brakes. Full send all day, make no mistakes. We hit the track, engines roar like a beast. Full throttle squad, yeah, we feast on the heat. Trophies in our sights, gold shining bright. Cross that finish line, man, that's our night. No BS, just speed and the thrill. While you're chasing dreams, we're chasing that grill. Got the crew on deck, and we're ready to ride. With a fist full of winds and some fire inside. Dig all day, we don't play for the weak. Trophies are bitches, yeah, that's how we speak. Win one or the other, you know it's right. 'Cause tonight we're rolling home, damn that vibe's so tight. Check the leaderboard while we're taking it high. Zooming past rivals like they barely try. Living life in the fast lane, no time to stall. We hustle for the gold and we answer the call. Got the girls on the side cheering loud for our crew, with sparkles in their eyes like they always knew. Champagne bottles popping, celebrations in sight. 'Cause when you ride with Dig, you know we own the night. Full send on this mission, hear that engine scream. No backing down now, man, this is our dream. We chase after glory, we ain't here to lose. Digging deep in our hearts, it's a life we choose. so tight. So raise a glass for those who ride with us tight. From trophies to bitches, man, it feels so right. Dig in your heart, let's keep it alive. Full send forever, together we'll thrive.
Sun up, haters all run up, glasses to the sky, yeah we never done up. Loud like no milk going down the roof, unstoppable force, we the living proof. Lights flashing bright, colors blur the night, dance like no tomorrow, future out of sight. DJ spinning fire, set the place ablaze, living in the moment, float better than waves. Cheers with the homies, laughter in the air, toast to the memories, carefree, no despair. Hourglass losing sand, we defy the clock, time's just a number, feeling like a jock. Turn up till the sun up, haters all run up, glasses to the sky, yeah we never done up. Loud like no milk going down the roof, unstoppable force, we the living proof.
Tonight, we go short track racing at Five Flags, as this evening, V-Speed is happy to have you for our coverage of the off-axis paint snow derby. Tonight, 300 laps of racing, and plenty of strong competitors look to battle it out to be able to pick up the win here in Pensacola, Florida. I'm Justin Prince, alongside the booth for tonight is Sky Shrek. DJ Line is our producer, using cameras provided by SimWrap Market for tonight's coverage. Sky, tonight should be a fun one when it comes to this racetrack. Five Flags coming off a successful snowball derby just in the past week or so. Tonight, these drivers look to replicate the virtual version here in off-axis paint snow derby fashion.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one tonight. The turns banked at 15 degrees. You can see it there on our Google Earth track satellite view. We've got about 26 drivers ready to go for tonight. Qualifying should start shortly. We're going to give you some track facts here as we head into the start of this race. For Pensacola at Five Flags Speedway, half a mile in length, banking 15 degrees in the turns. Pretty standard four-corner short track oval, first opened in 1953. We're getting ready for qualifying here, Justin. It's going to be a good one tonight.
Yes, indeed. The driver's going to be qualified based on reverse order of how they did in the practice session. So in our words, if you're towards the bottom of the pylon in the practice session, you're amongst the first who will go out on the racetrack. The fastest in the practice session that took about an hour and a half of time will see themselves be the last to take a time here on the racetrack. And as these drivers get themselves ready to go, what are you keeping an eye on for qualifying to get track position here?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how these lap times go over the course of qualifying. Of course, the first drivers out are going to be the ones with the slowest times in practice. So at the start, we're really looking to see if anyone can surprise us, run a really good time. I think the better times, though, the fastest drivers are going to run at the end, and they're going to have the best chance at those first couple rows with the last couple spots in qualifying.
Yeah, we have fun one tonight. Turns banked at 15 degrees. You can see it there on our Google Earth track satellite view. We've got about 26 drivers ready to go for tonight. Qualifying should start shortly. We're going to give you some track facts here as we head into the start of this race. For Pensacola at Five Flags Speedway, half a mile in length, banking 15 degrees in the turns. Tonight, these drivers look to replicate the virtual version here in off-axis paint snow derby fashion. Yeah, we have fun one tonight. Turns banked at 15 degrees. You can see it there on our Google Earth track satellite view. We've got about 26 drivers ready to go for tonight. Qualifying should start shortly. We're going to give you some track facts here as we head into the start of this race. For Pensacola at Five Flags Speedway, half a mile in length, banking 15 degrees in the turns. Tonight, these dr Absolutely, and there's a lot to talk about throughout the night. You have some of the top paint schemes we'll be seeing that discussed tonight. That's a part of the prize, the best Christmas scheme, should say. And of course, these drivers going to be battling it out to try and see if they can pick up the win itself. $50 to win tonight for these drivers, $10 for the best Christmas themed paint scheme for this evening. So the first of the drivers are hitting the racetrack, and Jamison Middlemiss is the one who's currently zipping on the racetrack. You've seen him passing on by just moments ago in the 16 car. He is a driver for Warrior Racing, 4 years on the platform, but interestingly enough here, Sky, a former member of Roush Racing from the 1990s.
Yeah, old timer here going at it on his second lap. He's going to come off turn 4. First lap wasn't great, but you're probably going to be faster on the second or third. He'll spin it across the line on his second into the inside wall. And Jamison Middlemiss is not going to have a good qualifying at all. We now look back on with that 9 car, Jeffrey Taylor.
So Taylor next on the racetrack. Taylor, driving for Beast Mode Performance in this series, is a world champion B-bonger. I'm not sure what a B-bonger is, but so far the yellow and black machine at the top of the board in the 16-second bracket.
Yeah, we'll see if he's the first car to cross under that 16-second time frame. It's been a bananas on the car, and he will. 15.986 on the second lap. Jeff Taylor's got one more to go around through 3 and 4. We'll see where he takes a spot. Actually, he will pull in this time, and we'll get ready for our next driver.
So already 2 drivers complete in the session. As mentioned, 26 plus entries for tonight for the qualifying grouping. As we get themselves set up for the third qualifier in the racetrack. There's your third qualifier now in the racetrack. See what they can do.
61 of Corey Cook.
Corey Cook, someone who races in a lot of different racing series, in fact. CCH Motorsports, where Corey Cook represents tonight. He's been winning NIS competition, running a McConaughey setup shop scheme, or rather, engine-powered machine tonight.
Beats Taylor there on his first lap. We'll see what he can do on his second. And down the back straight into 3 and 4. A little bit slower than what he ran in practice, but I think as we get into qualifying, these lap times will really start to ramp up above that. And almost an identical lap time for Corey Cook. That time won't improve.
So far, breaking into the 15-second bracket, 3 qualifiers through. Once drivers should be able to battle for the mid-pack by the end of the night. At the very minimum, you would have to think. Still 59s, as that will close out the run for Cook. So 3 drivers complete. Half a second the distance between first and third. Top 2 separated by 5/100ths of a second so far.
Yeah, coming out of the track now is going to be Caden Norfrey in the 45 car. Coming out onto the racetrack. Sponsoring a little incentive tonight here. $25 to the pole sitter and $25 to the driver with the most laps led, courtesy of Caden Norfrey in that 45 car, the Dig Esports machine.
Well, putting the ante up to say the very least here. 45 is able to do in this session right now, starting things off at the bottom of the racetrack. It's so important to make sure you wrap the bottom and do it just right, though, when it comes to speed. It's not quite as simple as just turn left and go fast here. You have to get the line right.
Yeah, for sure. He's all the way down on that white line. You're going to see pretty much every driver enter all the way down there. Want to be as far down as you can to try to maximize your speed. Norfrey goes third on the first lap. He'll come out of 4 here. We'll see where he places this time around. And he will improve a little bit. Jumps it up to second, 0.004 behind Cook on the second lap.
Not bad at all so far, to say the very least, for the session. Norfrey trying to power his way a little bit quicker. Not able to shuffle things on the pylon. But as time continues to progress here, the drivers in the next 5 grouping already getting themselves lined up here. Each driver grouping called for 5 in a row to be able to line up in the session before they bring the next car onto the racetrack. Try and keep things as efficient as they can throughout this qualifying session.
Corey Moore on the racetrack right now in the 84 car, making his first lap around in the Blue Oak Motorsports machine, sponsored by Infinity Pay Solutions. Going down to turn 3 on his first lap, we'll see where he slots into this order here between Cook, Norfree, Taylor, and Middlemiss, who have ran their laps so far. Lap 1, he'll come across the line, and he will immediately go to the pole by 0.2 of a second. Corey Moore going 1/10 faster than what he did in practice.
Not bad for the BOM entry so far to be able to set the tone for the qualifying grouping now. It's going to be the question. Let time hold up. We have a lot of hungry drivers, though, that have the chance to be able to bump that time as this session progresses, though.
Yeah, we'll see him come across here. Does he go any faster on his next lap? Not quite. So still rocking that 15.745, and he'll try, or he will pull off this time. We'll get our next driver out, which I believe will be the 4 of Alex Huffman, or it will not be. He is not in the session. It'll be the 17 of Austin Cook making his first laps.
Interesting when it comes to Alex Huffman. He was one of the drivers that picked up a lot of momentum on the sim, but also working in the front row. Austin Cook now on the racetrack, as mentioned. 17 machine put up times in the 15.8s in final practice. He'll need to find an extra 10th in his qualifying trim at least to be able to go top of the board.
Yeah, we got a little bit of another $10 prize here tonight for the best Christmas-related paint scheme. Austin Cook going for that with that Santa reindeer-themed machine there in that 17. He'll come across for a second lap here out of turn 4. Slotted in second on his first one, and he will not go any faster that time around.
Right now, it doesn't seem for now half the tempo. We'll have to see this time around. He's able to change that. The first lap so far has been the tone setter for the most part for the run itself. No change this time either. So Moore stays at the top of the board for the time being. So these drivers.
Sorry, I was going to say going out there on track now. It's 44 of Sean Rogers.
Rogers going with the Kyle Petty throwback to the Hot Wheels paint schemes of old for the 1990s and early 2000s.
And going down to turn 3 and 4 in that beast mode performance car. See where he slots in on his first lap. He's going to be the 7th car to set a lap time right now. And on lap 1, he's going to go in 3rd in that 44 car. Coming back down the straightaway in the Hot Wheels machine, complete his second lap.
Keep in mind, in this qualifying session, these drivers having to pick up an extra 10th or 2 right now compared to what they did earlier on. This time picking up a few more 100s. Rogers needs to pick up another 84 100s to be able to try and get to Moore's time. Can he bump himself a little bit higher? Question answer, well, is yes. He gets to second.
Second place for Sean Rogers, and following him out onto the racetrack is going to be Brad Carpenter in the 31. Went a little faster than Rogers did in practice. See if he can go a little faster in qualifying in that RKM setup shop car.
Expecting a lot of speed when it comes to that grouping, though there's a lot of expectations when you're in one of those cars on the RKM camp on the short track scene. Carpenter, one of the drivers, considering himself as an older guy racing against the young ones, in his words. Right now, Carpenter putting the tempo down. This is exactly what you expect from this type of car. Within 3 1/1000ths of the pole time for the time being, and he's trying a different line at 3 and 4 to boost up the speed.
And carry a little more speed onto his 3rd and final lap to see if he can get around Cody Moore to get that pole position. Just a little bit off on his first try. He'll come to the line here. We'll see if he can go any faster than the 84 car. He will not.
Trying to push the tempo. Got some good tempo put down. Just could not get that extra 3 1/1000ths to go to the top of the board. Johnny Shade is the next driver in the listing up. That's the 35 car for tonight. That's one of those Dig Esports entries. He's one of those backed by League Gaming, the Collegiate Football Simulation League, Jump Mode, and SimRap Market for tonight. We'll see where he puts himself on the pylon. Already 4th to start the session.
That black and white machine going 4th on the first lap. Go a little faster on the second lap. He'll move up to pole. Johnny Shade, now the fastest car on the board from lap 2. As he goes around to complete lap 3, let's see if he can get any more of a buffer between himself and Corey Moore back there in second. He'll come to the line, And the second lap will be the fastest one for Johnny Shade. Levi Allen in the 97 next up.
Here we knocked the wall down the back straightaway. He pushed so hard on the third lap, it seemed. But Levi Allen now looking to push the hammer. One of the band of misfits, he calls himself, a two-time Western Super Series champion. The 97 dude. He's going to be the interesting thing. He was one of the drivers that just missed out on the 15.7s in practice.
We'll see as he comes around here. Not a great time on the first one. Sixth in that band of misfits machine, that 97 car. See if he can do any better on lap 2. He'll come around and he'll slot in a little bit quicker. He'll jump himself up the field.
Just getting the time wound up, the speed and momentum built up in this car. It's one of the main things around this track is building momentum. As the laps turn, will the time fall? The 97 does not move up, but it is a tight window from second to fourth. That's 5/1000ths of a second separating second to fourth right now in this session.
Yeah, that second lap seems to be the fastest one so far. It's John Ross making his way out on the racetrack right now. He's the 99 on the ticker, but he's got the 44 on the car, so that's what we'll be referring to him as for the rest of this race. 7th on the first lap, not great, still about a 10th and a half off the 35 machine of Johnny Shade. We'll see where he goes on lap 2. Grabs that inside, and he's not going to go any faster. Or he will go a little faster, but he won't gain any position.
Right now, seems these drivers, of course, have things dialed down. It is such a tricky track to make sure you get things just right. Ross will qualify 7th with how he qualified around the bottom of the racetrack. So next up in the order would be Kyle Holden. Holden, 59 car from the ticker. Now we'll see what the green machine can do.
Yeah, making his first laps around. See where he slots in. Gonna be the 12th car to make the jump onto the timing board here. And he will go to the pole. Kyle Holden, fastest lap so far for SimHQ and SimRap Market. He's on first.
He was considered by admins coming in as one of the potential favorites to watch out for. Already seen why, already up to 19/100s, building up the speed more the second time around. Holden really backing up a lot of the confidence those in his field tonight have for what they expect to see out of the green machine.
Yeah, preliminary poll, but we've still got about 15 drivers to go. Drivers who went faster than him in practice. We'll see how this holds. It's going to be Mario Miranda in that 99 car. Again, 18 on the ticker, 99 is what's on the car. And you get to see Mario himself as he goes around the racetrack to set a quality time.
He's somebody you're very familiar with as well. He's somebody a lot of people are familiar with on the sim. He goes top of the board, Miranda to the top of the pylon for the CIL champion and the founder of Oklahoma University's esports program. He is flying around this racetrack.
The Nexus Esports driver got the Driven Performance Management car right there, Driven Activation Marketing car right there. We'll see where he slots in. Got one more lap to try to improve on that pole time, and he won't do it. Second lap will be as fast as 15.686.
Quite simply, laying down the tempo. He's also somebody that's got a lot of experience now built up in the rear world with karting and legend cars. He's now top of the board. So next up is Stephen Harlow. Harlow dropping the hammer, as he puts it. He ended up picking up the Division II Series Championship in LMS competition. And right now, looking to see if he can get himself into the 15.6s right now.
Yeah, fourth on that first lap, goes about half a tenth slower than Miranda. Second lap seems to be the sweet spot. We'll see if Harlow can make up any time here in that 6 car. And he will. He'll jump to third, beating out Johnny Shea.
Absolutely dialed on in. That plant supporting him very much so around this racetrack. Slipping the tires though, will that cost him any more time? Does not seem to change around the pylon this time. So Harlow stays in the third spot. Next up in the order, Richie Yost is due up. That's the 29 car for tonight. One of those who did not put a paint scheme on the car per se, just keeping it simple, just drive the car.
Yeah, we asked some of these drivers for some fun facts and sponsors listed. He just gave his name and he gave his number, and that's about all we're getting on the car too. We'll see where he slots in on the board. 15th car to make a lap so far. And he will go towards the back on the first lap. He'll start 13th. See if he can make up any time. Coming out of 4 on the second one, tagging the apron there, trying to get some speed off the corner. And he will go a couple spots higher in 11th.
Decent track position right now for 29, but not where they would want to be towards the front of the field. Track conditions, by the way, 75 degrees Fahrenheit track temperature. It's cool, 68 degrees, one of the cooler temperatures in the city yet. Moment as Yost does gain more time, but no positions. Next up in the order, a very familiar name. This is Shane Wyatt. He races in a lot of different series. One of his most notable accolades that people don't realize, he was a part of the iRacing Grand National Tour when NBC had some of the races on iRacing back during the pandemic.
He slots in on lap 1. It'll be pretty quick. Gonna jump up to 5th there in the order for Shane Wyatt. Another one of the drivers sponsoring some incentives tonight. $25 to the biggest mover in this race and $25 to the driver with the least amount of incident points in this race, both coming from Shane Wyatt in that 35 car, who moved up to 4th on his second lap.
Expect Wyatt to be a contender for the top 5 possibly out of those entered in the field tonight. He's going to be able to back up that confidence now. This third time around does not seem to change for Wyatt. He stays tied for 5th position. He has the tiebreaker though on time. So Josh Jean is next up in the order. That's the 78 car for tonight. Next one due up on the racetrack. There he is there. He's with Ledbetter Performance, looking to try and power ahead. Also known as Bo Ledbetter, specifically.
See if you can move up the board here. First lap, coming to the line for that 78 car. Gonna slot in 5th on the board. See if you can do any better this time around.
Ledbetter also has a fair bit of confidence when it comes to his racing. Also races in Sara in terms of some of his competition speed. Racing leagues like Sara, you expect drivers to be very fast, to say the very least, with that competition band expected. But G, Ledbetter specifically, going up ahead, put the pressure on for Shane and company, but no change, so he stays in the top 5. So that brings up next to the order Matt Hawks. That 32 car now zips around the racetrack next to the order.
And the bright red, a little bit of black on the rear end there for the 32 car. As we wind down this qualifying session, once again, $25 to the pole sitter at the end of the qualifying session. We got 7 cars to go, but those were the 7 cars that ran the fastest laps in practice. So these guys are all going to be strong contenders to try to jump up ahead of Mario Miranda and get that extra $25 prize tonight. Matt Cox, for right now, will slot in 9th, and we'll see where he goes on the second lap.
Right now, Cox staying in the top 9. You can see how much it's getting tighter and tighter here in this one, Sky. Those top drivers in the pylon separated by just about 4 to 6 100ths of a second. It is getting tricky to separate.
For sure, a lot of drivers in a really quick amount of time there. I mean, only .064 between your top 10. Austin Garvey in the 116 will be the next car out tonight. Coming to start lap 1 now. We'll see where he slots into the field.
Garvey now zips to the racetrack. And it's been interesting to keep an eye on the qualifying session so far. what does this say for the race itself when you have these drivers separated by basically the time equivalent of being separated by just a piece of paper, like a sheet of paper on the racetrack?
Yeah, Garvey jumps up to 4th there, getting himself up the order on that second lap. It's going to be really tight for the race. I mean, if these drivers are all running basically the same speed in qualifying, and this is open setup. These drivers are all really, really close to one another. I think that's going to make for some great racing here tonight. Once this qualifying session ends, we get into the actual racing. Ross Harlow, next car out in the 5 machine.
So this is the other of the drop in the hammer machines. Ross Harlow, known for his speed in the Sunoco Cup Series. He's actually a champion in that series. He's also picked up multiple endurance wins in the iRacing Daytona 24.
Yeah, sponsored by the Topah Hollow Project, GNG's Gift, Dropping the Hammer Podcast, and Mission 22. You can see where he qualifies here. 14th on that first lap. He'll definitely want to improve on lap 2. Comes across the line. He will go way faster. He's going to be all the way up to the pole for Ross Harlow.
How about that for Ross Harlow? That puts both the Harlows inside the top 5 in session. Will we be able to improve a little bit more? Just about tag the wall, trying to push the tempo a little bit more. But at the top of the board, Ross Harlow dropping that hammer indeed to go top speed. But there's still a few more drivers with good speed in the field to go. Alex Coffey was a 1/10 of a second quicker than him in final practice. Coffey is now up, a racer for 8 years in real life, all the way to the Outlaw Late Models division. He's someone that has had experience in the Sims as far back as 2010, although he did have a gap for 7 years.
And driving that Dig Esports car, he'll send that thing straight to the pole, and it's not close, because the whole 1/10 of a second quicker. Sponsored by Off Axis Paint, Van Lilly Stickers, Carpy's Sprint Co, Simrad Market, and Tilly's Dent Repair. They're all going to be happy with Alex Coffey's speed. He goes straight to first.
Yeah, that qualifying setup is ripping, to say the very least. Coffey, that time's going to be hard to beat right now in the 15.5s. Only a couple drivers in final practice were in the 5s. Coming up towards those drivers, though. Paul Gillimore now coming up onto the track. Gillimore, beast mode performance. He was just outside that 5's range in final practice. Let's see what he can do in the qualifying. Gillimore's first time does not populate inside the top 16, 16th in fact.
Not a great first lap for Gallimore, especially considering he was one of the 3 fastest cars in practice. Going to want to improve a lot on the second lap. We'll see what he's able to do. And he will go a little faster, but it won't really improve his position at all. He just moves up from 16th to 15th. One more time around for Paul Gallimore. We'll see where he can end up on the ticker after this third and final lap, and he will go slower. Gallimore 15th right now.
Not what they wanted to see for qualifying. Let's describe it that way. But here come the drivers in the 15.5s. This is the 80 car. This machine driven by Pfluger, Victor Pfluger, looks to try and back up what they were able to do. That time they put up in practice would put them second in the 15.595s. Needs to put up a lot more to be able to pick up an extra 10.
Yeah, that 80 machine, the BOM team car, sponsored by VanLillyStickers.com. 6th place on the first lap. We'll see where he slots in on the second one. Our penultimate car will not pick up any time the second time around. He'll finish his third lap here, and then following that, we got one more car. It'll be Larson Parker after him.
See where the times fall, but no change for Pfluger. Staying in the 6th position, a couple tenths off the pole just about. But it is Larson Parker who now is on track. This is for the pole.
Yeah, the 018 machine, fastest car in practice, last car in qualifying. He's got a chance to save the best for last year. He'll come around on lap 1. We'll see where he goes. He ran a 15.593 in practice, runs a 15.694 on his first lap. That's good enough for 4th. but he's still behind Coffee, Harlow, and Mario Miranda back there for those top 3 spots. Second time around, the 018 will finish, or will slot in no quicker, so that 15.694 on lap 1, so fast.
Will there be a change on this time around to close out quali? The answer is, as they come across the stripe, no. Looks like no change, and that does it for this session. How about that qualifying session, Sky, as these drivers really set the tone. Most drivers had to pick up an extra 10th from what they were able to do in final practice to set where they were in the grid.
Alex Coffey went a little bit faster than what he went in practice. Ross Harlow as well, both drivers about 0.3 up. Mario Miranda second quicker. Larson Parker a little slower than he was in practice. Many of the other drivers picking up some extra time and doing good things there in the qualifying session.
It's time for the national anthem. Let's take a listen in for tonight's performance of the U.S. national anthem. Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's coverage from Five Flags, the off-axis paint snow derby. Just about set for its starting grid procedures. Let's take a look at how they'll start here tonight after an intense qualifying session. These drivers getting set to go here. That's a look at some of the drivers on how they lined up previously. Get ready to look at those drivers for your starting grid, Sky. 26 plus competitors ready to rip the racetrack in a few moments.
Yeah, we had 24 set qualifying times. I think we're going to have a couple more here that did not set times, that did not set times in qualifying, but are likely going to start from the back here. Jordan Schmeets among them, one of the drivers. Didn't go in quali, will likely go in the race. Going to get a couple more minutes here as they wrap up qualifying to get the order set, and then we will be going green here for a 300-lap race for Five Flags.
Just waiting for the drivers to get the advance to the race session portion of tonight in the racetrack itself. Who are you watching the most for tonight for a race like this to go the distance and knowing that they're going to be limited on tire sets, just 3 available?
Yeah, you only get 3 extra tire sets. I mean, I think the obvious pick's going to be Alex Coffey. Went a whole 10th quicker than anybody else in qualifying. They were all really close, but Coffey just kind of ran away with it. I think he's got a good shot here if he can start to pull away once this race begins.
So in total, 28 drivers enter tonight's race. Just about set to see who will pick up the win out of those drivers. Ready. It's now getting underway. Here's a look at your lineup. Let's go 10 at a time in terms of how we'll announce through. Alex Coffey, Ross Harlow on the front row tonight. Super Mario Miranda will start alongside Larson Parker. Then it's Kyle Holden who will start alongside Stephen Harlow. Then it's going to be Victor Pfluger alongside Austin Garvey, row number 4. Row 5, Johnny Shade and Josh Jean will round out your top 10 Scott.
Looking back in row 6, Shane Wyatt in the 23 starts 11th, Corey Moore in the 84 in 12th. Behind them, Brad Carpenter 13th in the 31 and Matt Cox 14th in the 32. Row 8 on the field tonight is going to be Levi Allen in the 97 and 15th, and Sean Rogers in the 44 in 16th. Row 9, Paul Gallimore in the 11, starting 17th. Austin Cook, 18th in the 17 car. And last row in the top 20, John Ross starts 19th in the, I believe, the 144, and Richie Yost, 20th in the 29.
21st spot going the way of Corey Cook tonight alongside Caden Norfrey. Then it's in the final drivers to take time, Jeffrey Taylor and Jamison Middlemiss will start 24th. The rest of the drivers did not set times, including Blaine Wilson, Alex Huffman, Jordan Schmetz, and Nigel Christensen. Of note, Huffman and Christensen are not at the facility currently. So just about all set to go. A lot to talk about. Let's take a look towards your details once again tonight. Your race analysis for 300 laps of racing. These super late models just about getting themselves geared up to go full distance around this racetrack. What are some of your keys knowing it's going to be a long night of racing here on this Wednesday night?
It's going to be fun for sure. 300 laps. You do get one faster pair for this race. You can see right there. One faster pair, you want to make sure you don't use it early, still have it if you need it later on. Open setup for this race, and even still, these drivers are really close in qualifying. You still have 4 sets of tires, 1 on the car, 3 in the pits. Pit road speed, 35 miles an hour. Race length is 300 laps, and if we need to go any farther, we have 3 green-white checkers.
So overall tonight, what are your keys to victory if you want to win this event?
Oh, you got to keep it clean for sure. With a race this long and a track this short, there's going to be a lot of beating and banging, and you only get one faster pair if you get in an accident. So I think the key to this early on is going to be keeping the nose clean, staying out of trouble, and if you can do that, you'll probably be there at the end.
Temperatures, by the way, have dropped down to 71 degrees in sim for the track, staying 68 for the air temperature. Sim time just past 3 o'clock for today's race. I'll put you on the spot here, Sky. Who do you think is going to break through the chilliness and break their way into victory lane tonight at the end of the night?
Obvious pick, but with the speed gap that we saw in qualifying, I think Alex Coffey's got the best shot, running a 10th up on the field in the qualifying session over Ross Harlow. If he can keep that pace in the race, he's going to have a great chance at it.
Final pace lap before we get to racing here tonight. The driver's just about geared up and ready to go for tonight. Again, happy with us for tonight's action. This is the off-axis paint snow derby here on V-Speed. Here from Five Flags. In control of the field, Alex Coffey, Ross Harlow to the outside. And it looks like they have extended the caution period to add an extra pace lap here.
Yeah, I think we're going to run a couple extra laps here of pacing as we get going. Have it set to 3 to green before that last time around, so it should be 2 to green this time. Don't quote me on that, though.
Well, let me ask you this then on the storylines. Who are some of the storylines you're going to be keeping an eye on the most tonight?
Well, some of these drivers who maybe underperformed in qualifying compared to how they did in practice. Victor Pfluger, a little further back in that 80 car, was the second fastest car in practice, only qualified P7. And the pace car will pull off here and take us to the green.
Green flag is out. We're underway for the off-axis paint snow derby. The outside prevails to start. Ross Harlow to the lead to begin. Alex Coffey quickly lost that lead before he even got to turn 1.
We're going to head down. Mario Miranda staying in 3rd. Larson Parker dropping in line from the outside back to 4th. Great start for Ross Harlow as he takes him down into 1 and 2. 19 is still sticking with him, and he went a little faster that last time around. We'll see if the 19 shows that speed and gets back to the front. Meanwhile, they're battling further back. Corey Moore and Johnny Shade for 9th.
They nearly took the apron in the pit access lane, trying to get the line down. Comes the Ledbetter Performance entry, onside instead. And pretty clear, no one wants to go on that 2nd or 3rd groove. It is build week, mind you, but these drivers are not playing games. They want to just ride the white line.
It's likely the fastest way around right now is right around the bottom, and if you can be down there, you want to be down there. That 35 car, Johnny Shade, is going to need to get down there quickly if he wants to hold position, because he's not only being passed by Josh Jean in the 78, Shane Wyatt going around him as well, and he'll finally get down in between Wyatt and Brad Carpenter back there in 12th.
Just like that thing settle in. No, they don't. Around goes Wyatt. He clipped the apron. He goes around for our first caution flag of the evening. Wyatt
pretty
just...
big damage. Yeah, I was going to say pretty big damage to him. Johnny Shade as well went hard.
He drove it into the wall trying to avoid it, and Shade actually got the worst of it. He damaged the suspension, it appears. We already have our first candidate for a fast repair. Let's take a look.
I'll show you our V-speed replay here. 23 and the 35. Yeah, 23 sent it around. Shade was trying to avoid him and just went hard into that outside wall. I think it might have broke something in that car, because he went pretty hard in the inside or into the outside wall down in turn 1 as well. Yeah, that car is not driving the straightest. He is probably going to have to take a fast repair there.
Let's take one once again, yeah. And the thing is, he had a lot of space to go around in theory. Just the momentum took him there.
Yeah, these cars can be fragile. You hit the wall like that once, and you see it just went like a missile towards the wall there. The moment he got that damage, it just stopped. He will take that fast repair, so he'll be the first car this race to use it, and you really don't want to use it this early.
Well, there was one update during the iRacing build to the Super Late models that's of note. For the damage model, well, the front suspension hyperextension limits had been reduced, and the rest of the deflection had been adjusted. Well, seeing the first hit to the front suspension being tested right there by Shade, now these drivers are going to get tested on how they handled the restart skills. Coffee is the one scored as the race leader because at the time of that incident, he just got to the inside of Harlow and got the scoring loop.
Yeah, so he'll roll off same way he did to start this race on pole. A couple spots behind him, same way as how we started. In fact, the field is identical all the way back to 8th. Coffee, Harlow, Miranda. All those cars all the way back to the 8 car of, or the 116 of Austin Garvey in 8th. Same spot as where they started. Corey Moore in 9th, up 3 positions.
Ray doubled up and ready for the restart. See how they played this one after seeing how it was perfectly executed up the green by Ross Harlow. This car is off as they roll into the restart box. Coffee's away. Green flag is out. Back underway. And already the top 2 single file out, but Harlow tries the high side.
Miranda got the nose in there going down into turn 1, but Harlow's able to get clear down the straightaway. He'll pull into second. Coffee got a good jump there. He did not want that 5 car to get down in front of him the same way he did on the green flag. That he's succeeded in doing that, and he's pulled 2/10 off of Harlow. We're side by side a little further back, not single file everywhere. Gene, Fluger, Garvey all going at it back there in 7th.
Sorts of battling in the Hornet's Nest. One driver nearly skipping up the track at Austin Cook. Take a look at the battle box as Cook tries to squeeze his opponents down and build some runs. He's one of the few to get that top going for passing so far.
Trying to work up there. Definitely got to run those opponents really tight, because if you don't, they can run you right above the corner, and he's around. Car around, that's the 17. A Cook, and he's taking a couple cars back there with him. John Ross also involved.
Moore had a spin as well, trying to dodge a caution flag as out. Yost got the worst of it. Significant suspension damage for the 29 and the stack up into 3.
See how this happened on the V-speed replay. He was running the top. We were just saying he was making some time up there. He got sideways off the corner, sent it around. A little bit of contact there with Josh Jean, but he should be okay. It's the stack up behind him that kind of takes a couple cars out. See that car getting spun there? That is the 84 of Corey Moore going around. And then some damage to the 79 behind him as well, just clipping that front end. Remember, that's the 29 behind him. Richie Yoss just clipping the front end.
Yeah, but that is still enough for him to break his suspension too. So just like that, 2 meatball flags in 2 caution periods so far. Here's how he picked up his.
Oh yeah, just not a lot of space to go. I mean, he tried to push it through on the inside there, had a car to his outside, and yeah, that whole close, he didn't have anywhere to go.
So we're under caution for the second time. Coffee remains the race leader over Ross Harlow and Mario Miranda. A few drivers did elect to come down to pit road on top of that, including Moore. It looks like Moore trying to get some damage fixed from his loop around. And obviously, when it comes to a situation like this, you have to make sure the car's clean. These cars used to be able to take a beating, but it's pretty clear tonight you can't really risk the same beatings these cars used to take about a year or two ago.
Front suspension's already been a bit fragile. We got our second faster pair for Richie Yoss back there in that 29 car. Not what he wants. He's looking at Mario Miranda there, locking in third on this restart. Last restart, he sent it up the inside of the 5 car, Ross Harlow, to try to get the spot, but he wasn't successful. We'll see if he can do it this time.
It's actually an NIL athlete for the University of Oklahoma, Sooner Esports. So far, he's in the popcorn seat for this battle for the lead. Good launch by Ross Harlow again. He keeps it alongside. Coffee clipping the apron a little bit as the 5 gets the boost.
Miranda closing up on that battle rapidly as we stay side by side. He'll look a little bit to the middle on entry, but he gets back down behind Coffee as we head around. Harlow is really holding Coffee tight to the inside through those corners, and it's allowing that 99 to stay right up to this battle. Neither car getting the advantage quite yet. It might be Harlow this time. It will be Harlow this time. 5 car, Ross Harlow to the lead.
And more sliding. Big wreck behind.
Oh, we got a car over.
Caution flag is out. Kyle Holden already towed it. And some hard hits there against the outside wall. Stephen Harlow amongst those collected in it.
Saw one car get fully into the air there. We're going to have to figure out who that was for you on the V-Speed replay, but it looked like a big hit for a couple of those drivers. Gonna head around to 16 there on the inside of the 59. Yeah, there he goes. Big stack up sends Austin Garvey way into the air. He's on top of the 6 of Stephen Harlow. Kyle Holden also big time damage. A lot of cars involved in that one.
Holden's just parked it for the 9 already on that one. And it's not clear, but also that just about ripped the tires off the 116 in sim, the 16 on track.
I saw that car go flying. I saw the full underside of a car there on the battle for the lead camera, and I was like, oh no, this is not going to be good.
Yeah, and what do you say in that type of situation? Because he was showing the nose, but also wasn't fully there, as some would say in turn 1.
Yeah, I think maybe just a little optimistic, especially this early on in the race. If I was him, lap 25, I'm probably giving a little bit more slack than that.
So fast and fair situation. If Garvey can get in the pit box, believe he just did. That's why the engine smokes just kicked away. Good timing for Ross Harlow. He's got the race lead with the scoring loops. As a result of that caution flag over Coffee and Miranda. Of note, Ledbetter machine is up to 5th. Also, some others are trying to make some moves. How about Norfrey? You see him in the 45. He's gone from 22nd to 9th for the Conti car.
Yeah, he's moving up through the field. A lot of drivers making big moves up here. Sean Rogers, 16th up to 8th. Levi Allen, 15th up to 6th. Cars are getting through the field here, and I think that's helped by the fact that we've seen a couple cars come down pit road for damage for fast repairs. Victor Pfluger among them. Pace car is going to pull off this time. We'll be able to go back green. Double file. It'll be Ross Harlow and Alex Coffey leading us back to the green flag.
Another poor restart for Coffey. This time it cost some spots. Gene up to 3rd already. Mario Miranda trying to reach his arms out for the 5 as well. Gets a good corner exit.
Yeah, Coffey's stuck on that outside, and he does not have it working in the same way Harlow did. Back to a 5th before he's going to be able to get in line between Larson Parker and Levi Allen back there, respectively. Mario Miranda's right on the tail of Ross Harlow. Not going to bump him off the corner, but he's within distance to do it. Right on that back bumper, back down into 1 and 2.
Got the diamond down, now he's got the nose shown. Trying to pressurize the mistake from Harlow instead. Miranda pressurized himself back off the gas. Seems like Miranda's quicker, but the problem's going to be here getting the right angle and the timing down, Sky, to make the pass.
Yeah, with a track like this where the inside is so clearly dominant, the only driver we've really seen work that outside and have success today was the 5 of Harlow. Bad exit from Miranda gives Gene a chance back there in 3rd, but he can't quite get there. Mario still lurking in 2nd, might just wait till Harlow makes a mistake and he's able to get the run through. Because he's going to need a run down the straightaway or down the corner or something to get that pass on the inside.
Battle for 14th getting very chaotic. Of note, it's side-by-side for the race lead as well. So a lot of side-by-side forming up, including with Miranda. Harlow trying to keep things tight. Miranda just reaching into that spot, avoiding contact.
Harlow has really been able to work the top. Done it so much better than almost every other car in the field, and you're seeing it here. He's running Miranda down, but he gets a little bit high, and that's going to allow the 99 of Mario Miranda to take the lead for the first time this race.
He jumps up to 2nd for good measure as well. Now looking to jump up as well. Welcome Larson Parker to the battle for the podium spots. It's pretty clear, and this has been something we've seen over the years here on the platform. You can defend from that middle line. Usually it's not the most aggressive line offensively in the early going, but it can provide the ability to defend for at least 5-10 laps like we just seen.
Miranda getting a little bit high there is going to allow Josh Jean to cut back to the inside. That car started this race in 10th. He has gone all the way up to 2nd, and he's doing it with a little bit of a hole in the nose, which you'll see if we go back at a car. That thing is a hole in the nose, and he is still working it up to 2nd +8 from where we started.
I mean, like, there's no issues whatsoever. Miranda is starting to extend things out, though, as Gene seems to be starting to get pretty tight for quarter apex.
All over the back of him. Yeah, that 018 there really starting to gain on the 78, and maybe if you can get around him, have a threat from Miranda, because Miranda is gone 3/10 away in the lead. Battle back here. This is for 8th, Brad Carpenter and Sean Rogers.
Right now, staying lined up. Carpenter, we expected him to be quick. He's already moved his way ahead in that 31. Sean Rogers, though, also much so marching ahead. What a drive back for Wyatt, though. From that early spin, he's right back where he started.
Yeah, he's moved through the field really well. One of a couple cars that have really gone from the back to the front. Speaking of Shane Wyatt here, he has offered, as we said in qualifying, $25 up for the biggest mover of the race right now. I believe that'll be Caden Norfrey in the 45 car. Started out back in 22nd, up to 6th right now, as we're side-by-side, Coffey and Harlow, not for the lead this time, but for 4th.
Coffey regaining some footing. Contact, Norfrey. Norfrey trying to lunge it right on back. And this is where the difference can come into play when you're pinching down. Some people just do not have the same feel when you get pinched down like this. More contact.
Still side by side for those two cars. Now it's the 45, and Norfrey, as we said, started 22nd, trying to make a move up to 5th to get into the top 5. He'll be +17 in the first 43 laps of this race, and he is going for it right now.
He's been moving so far. That is your biggest mover so far in the race tonight. How things have gone so far. Though he is hitting the wall, that's not going to help his speed. Speaking of that battle with Carpenter and company, right now the independent racing machine under attack by Wyatt. Once again, Carpenter starting to get loose.
Yeah, Wyatt's moving up through the field as well. 31, one of a couple cars who have kind of maybe blown through those tires faster than they'd like and have started to fall through the field. See Harlow's already back to 5th, really used up those tires trying to defend on the top line. He's sliding back to the field, so is Carpenter, getting passed by Schmitz, and now getting passed by 17 at Cook for 12.
Cook had some minutes earlier for the lead. Parker on the flat, trying to slide it up into Miranda. Avoided contact, however.
Yeah, Miranda's going to keep the lead for now, but Larson Parker, fastest car in practice, started this race 4th. He's got it up to 2nd, and now he's the only car really within a second of Miranda, and he's going to take the fight to him. Might be a little faster right now as he takes a peek on the inside into 1.
One of the EPI-backed machines. Just trying to find a way to diamond his way alongside, just like Miranda did earlier on in the race. You know he's got the speed. We've seen it in practice. Long run seems to be kicking on in. 16.5 for these drivers. Coffee is also closing, mind you, because of them fighting by a 10th a lap.
Yeah, Parker's running lower on the exit than Miranda is. Miranda's kind of running it up to the wall. Little quick on the exit of 4. You saw Coffee stayed all the way down, using the apron a little to try to get a little extra speed out of 4 that time around. Still about breaks even with Miranda. You'll see it again here. Coffee going way lower out of the corner. Or Parker getting way lower out of the corner. Not really gaining a lot of time with it, though.
So back to Coffee, 16.509 last time by. Gained a few 100s on the race leaders again. And everybody else in the train is following in the same tempo. The lead, Parker alongside Miranda. Now at the numbers, Miranda having a fight with the car.
To do what Ross Harlow did a little bit ago and try to defend on that top, and with how far back Harlow is sliding. We'll see if Miranda really commits to it on the top there and burns up those tires to try to keep this fight going. He will through 1 and 2, getting a bit of a nose ahead down the back straightaway, but Parker's able to get that big send into 3, and he'll get out front. New leader, Larson Parker, for the first time in this race.
They're different leaders so far in this one, already past the 50-lap mark. Now we'll see if he's able to run away. 4 lead changes already in this one, Scott.
Yeah, the cars have been coming and going at the front. We've seen a lot of different drivers take the lead. We might get a lead change here too, because as these cars have fought, Alex Coffey and Josh Jean have made it close back there. They're moving up to 3rd, or they're in 3rd and 4th, and they're trying to move up to 1st and 2nd.
Back from Coffey once again. Right now, Coffey, we know the restarts have been the struggle. He's going to have one to deal with. The caution flag is out for John Ross. So the Ross Racing Machine getting some help from Matt Cox. Puts us under yellow.
Yeah, it's not the first caution we've seen him in today, and we'll get a replay on what happened here, the V-Speed replay, once we can get that for you. John Ross, pretty serious damage to the right front of that car. Already around there. This is off the bumper of Matt Cox. We'll see it going down to 3 and 4. 32 car behind that 144 machine. Still staying solid there. We'll see if he goes down to turn 1. Oh yeah, the 32. Big contact to the rear end of the 44. Kind of drives through him. Sends Ross around, although it doesn't look like he'll have sustained too much damage in that spin.
That sparked a lot of pit stops here. Looks like a lot of people thinking at least about the fuel here. Not seeing that many drivers go up on the jacks yet. In fact, I don't think most are even on the jacks.
Yeah, you only get about 3 extra sets of tires in this race, so you want to use those sparingly. You don't want to blow through them all at once, but a couple cars, I believe, are making that stop for tires. Corey Cook, I believe one of them who put, I think, only right sides on that 61 car.
Take a quick break, more coverage here on V-Speed right after this. You're watching the Off-Axis Paint Snow Derby here from Five Flags. Welcome back, everyone, to Five Flags, where Larson Parker has a good restart. Once again, Coffee did not get a good launch, and that 19 is going to have problems if this keeps happening every restart where they lose spots.
Sliding back to fourth. Allen on the outside in that 97 car. Levi Allen holding him tight to the inside. Not going to quite get the spot there, but we know this outside lane can work on these restarts to make passes. Right there it goes. Levi Allen up to fourth. And now Josh Jean up in third, trying to put Miranda on the outside for second.
Going along with the Angry Animals machine. Right now in a good spot to try and see what's going on with that machine. Jean looking for second.
He's really been diving it low off the corner. Similar strategy to what we saw Larson Parker trying earlier in the race. Oh, bit of contact there between the 99 and 78. And the caution's going to come out for something further back.
Back under yellow, Jamison middle miss. The 16 is the Spark. Back under caution once again. He is now scored 22nd.
Was contact between him and Austin Cook that brought that out. Middle miss qualified last, but he was starting to move up through the field, and you see it on the V-Speed replay. Contact in 17 of Austin Cook. Sends Middle miss around. Keeps it out of the wall, though, and he should be able to keep it rolling without too much damage.
Seen a hole. Unfortunately, the hole wasn't as spaced out as he was looking for to the outside.
No, not at all. It's going to end up in some contact there, sending the 16 around.
So more pit stops underway. Johnny Shade amongst those in. Austin Cook in. Jeffrey Taylor also in. There is an incident limit of 25 before you get penalties in this race. 33 gets you disqualified. So you can't just be simply going for the bump and run or having risk of contact like we've seen so far for some.
Yeah, you got to keep it classy, especially with, as we mentioned earlier, Shane White giving out a $25 reward to whichever driver in this race has the least incident points when it's all said and done.
Yeah, that's about half the total for the race winner, so that's something you definitely want to put your hat on. But Larson Parker looking very solid so far in this race. Your thoughts on what we're seeing from Parker so far? Able to take the lead and now try and hold on to it so far on this tempo.
I think he really did a good job of kind of biding his time, driving through the field. He didn't burn his stuff off. He just was patient, made it up to Miranda on the long run, and got the pass done. Now that he's out front, he's done a pretty good job of holding on to that lead over the 18, or over the 99 of Miranda and the 78 of Jean, who are hounding him from behind every time around.
Already coming up to the restart here. Now it's Parker and Miranda side by side. See some air contact to save by the bell. There is a little bit of damage possibly to the back end of Miranda. But Parker just about clear already. Jean using up a lot of real estate that time down the straightaway, but Miranda's got the boost.
Miranda will keep it side by side, and Jean's going to use that to try to get up to his inside, following Parker around. 99 holding steady on the top, but it's a good run there for Larson Parker to get the spot. And now Josh Jean's going to try to hound Miranda on the inside to take second away.
Thunder Machine still keeping things on the inside. Miranda doing a good job outside. We've seen that be a good defensive line we talked about earlier. Comes into play once again today. But Parker, just about clear. Miranda goes in the hole, fills it.
We'll get down on the inside for second, which is pretty good. You save more tires down there than you do trying to force it around the top, and it's harder for people to try to pass him on the inside. Looking a little further back, we got a battle here between Sean Rogers in 44, and that is Jordan Schmitz in the 28 car driving the Joey Logano machine. Further back from them, Victor Pluger now at the inside of that 44 car.
Schmitz coming from 26 starting spot, really fighting that car. Solid job behind him right now, though, keeping things dialed in. The youngest ever ASA Speed Truck champion, Pfluger was, at 16 years old. 52 times in real-world competition, he's won an A-main in various different cars of the Oval Sun.
And we'll see if he can get it done on the sim here. Second fastest in qualifying, but hasn't been up on that podium in the race. Running in ninth right now, about a quarter of the way through. He's gonna have to get past some of these cars who are up here, and he's currently stuck behind our biggest mover in the race so far. Jordan Schmitz started in 26, up to 8th in that 28.
See if Smith's able to gather things up. Oh, no. Parker's starting to build a gap up front. Everyone else staying in the choo-choo train here. Last time by, drivers kicked the speed up into the 16.2s. And that's the interesting thing when it comes to these cars. The longer the run goes, the faster you usually go as you rubber in these tires on the sim.
Yeah, none of these drivers at the front here have taken tires yet. I believe the first car who was even in the pits at all was Victor Pfluger. He had to take a faster pair. Jordan Schmitz as well. So those are the only two cars up here who have even been in the pit lane at all. You got 3 sets of tires back there. None of these first 7 have used them. As we're watching the battle for 6th right here, or watching about for 8th right here, Pfluger under threat from Schmitz and Rogers side by side for 9.
Trying to battle it out. We've seen Schmitz not look the most comfortable corner exit. Comfortable to get things settled in as we'll go back up to Coffey. Coffey still going the wrong way. Your pole sitter is back in 6th.
Stuck in the middle there between Norfrey in the 45 and Shane Wyatt behind him in the 23. Hasn't been able to really make any progress on the 45, but the 23 hasn't been able to get to his bumper and make the move yet either. While this battle is still going on here, Parker's pulling away at the front from Miranda. Everybody else about 3rd on back is a lot tighter, kind of in this line. You're seeing it right here from 5th to 7th.
So how do you break out of these pockets, so to speak, to be able to join those up front? How do you try and differentiate yourself in a field, even with the open setups, where it is razor-thin margins, as we talked about for qualifying, that's carried over to the race?
It's got to be really steady. You can't make mistakes. We've seen a couple cars get loose, spin it out. You can't be doing that. You got to be really steady, really consistent. You know, same laps, lap after lap, similar times, and that'll get you up towards the front of this field if you do it.
Grouping for 13th on back at the moment. Corey Cook on the outside. Austin Cook, Corey Moore amongst those in this nest. Matt Cox also back there as well. These drivers are already 5 seconds plus behind the race leader, about 1/3 of the track back.
Yeah, some of these guys have already pit. A lot of these guys either taken tires, 2 or 4 depending on the car, used their fast pair. Corey Cook and Matt Cox, I believe, both took 2 tires at the last stop. Hasn't really worked for them, though. They've both been stuck right around 15th, 16th. They haven't been able to move up through the field, showing that new tires really aren't as important as you think they might be.
There is a point where the fresher tires are going to prevail. It's just, I've seen this on the sim a lot with this car. It just takes a lot of laps for that cliffing point to come in. 50, 60, 70-ish plus laps. It's not as stark as, say, a stock car in the NASCAR Cup Series.
Yeah, these drivers who have been there, I think at some point, if we stay green enough, they're going to be able to move up to the field. But for now, it's still top 7 spots from Parker in 1st to Norfrey in 7th. All cars who haven't pit yet. Neither has Sean Rogers in 9th. Every other car in the field, with the exception of Jamison Middlemitz back there in 21st, has either come down for tires or has come down to take a faster pair.
Those without the faster pair are going to be very much dancing on eggshells. This is Yost. He's amongst those without a faster pair in the bank from some of the incidents already.
Yeah, he got caught up in some incidents earlier, but he's gotten it back to 12th. He's done a pretty good job of driving himself back to the field here in the 78 laps since then. Now he's working on Ross Harlow in the 5 car. We saw Harlow leading laps earlier with one of the cars. He pulled it into the pits, took some tires, and he's now trying to get back to the field. Car around, that's Norfrey in the 45.
Caution flag is out. The 45 have been running in 8th spot. And ended up to lock it down on the front straightaway. We're under caution.
Yeah, we'll get a V-speed replay of that for you here shortly. 45 car was running in 7th at the time. Caden Norfrey was doing really good. See what happened here. Oh, he just got loose off the corner, drove it a bit too much, and slid around down the straightaway. No contact, though, should keep him pretty good.
Did smoke those tires, though. That's not going to help out the 45's case for later on in the race. And a lot of pit stops as to be expected. It's pit party time.
Josh Jean and Victor Pfluger, the 2 cars have stayed out. Lawson Parker in, Mario Miranda in. Ross Harlow in again. A lot of cars. Shane Wyatt, Corey Moore. I'm just going through the field. Almost everybody coming down. Only 5 cars who've stayed out on the racetrack are Josh Jean, Victor Pfluger, Matt Cox, Corey Cook, and Austin Garvey.
Some of those drivers have been running towards the back and had gone off cycle. First out of the pit lane, by the way, was Parker over Miranda. Looks like Miranda may have picked up speeding, though. He just had to let people go.
Yeah, we'll see how that ends up. Not 100% sure just yet. If we get word on that, we'll see what happened to Miranda there at the pit stop.
Something fluky going on with the order is now some drivers having to stop on the racetrack, including Stephen Harlow. As others like Taylor have ducked into the pit lane. So the drivers just sorting themselves out right now. We can't say Jean is the leader over Pfluger. Cox and Cook, Garvey are the ones who did stay out absolutely in this situation. They're already setting up for the restart.
Yeah, first 5 off the pit road, we're going to be Lawson Parker, who will restart 6th. Behind them, it's Alex Coffey, Mario Miranda, Shane Wyatt, and Jordan Schmeets with the next 5 cars out. They will line up 6th to 10th as the pace car leads our field down into turn 3. 99 laps in the books, 2:01 left to go as the pace car pulls off. It's Josh Jean with a huge jump to take us to the green.
Big jump, in fact, already clear. Cook able to find himself clear as here comes Larson Parker. Parker trying it from the high side to get through this traffic.
61 and Cook gets clear on the top there. Now in pursuit of him is going to be Lawson Parker trying to move up to the field. He is really quick on those new tires. Look at that quick work of Corey Cook on the top. He gets clear of the 61 machine. 6/10 back to Josh Jean, but if he's as fast as he looked during that overtake, it might not be that long.
Now we're ahead there. Of note, Miranda did get damage repair fixed during the caution flag to the left rear. It's 3 wide of the Hornet's Nest. Shane Wyatt having to back out. Alex Coffey.
A couple cars around.
More spins, but no caution. Richie Yost amongst those who looped it, but no yellow.
I think Yost and maybe Middlemiss back there going around as well. Looking up here up front, Parker's gotten through to second past Pfluger. So has Miranda in third. Coffey is still kind of stuck back there in sixth, while Parker is now going for the lead, and he'll take it. And Miranda got out of there as well. Coffey, who started in between those 2 cars, has not been able to get through the cars on old tires.
So the fresh tire difference, we talked about 60, 70, something on laps difference. You see some big differences. Well, you're starting to see some big differences here. Austin Garvey, he's getting freight train. Cook trying to work to the bottom. Makes the move. Coffey, you're looking from.
You're looking at the bumper there on Cook. You get a $10 prize for the best paint scheme here. It's got to be Christmas related. I think Austin Cook might be a contender for that. That 17 machine making the move up the inside of Coffey for 5th. He is on similar tires to that 19 car, and he's going to get the pass done. Shane Wyatt also on new tires back there in 7th. Next car looking on the 19. Parker and Miranda are rapidly getting clear of the rest of the field.
They've built a big cushion in the top 3 half specifically. Gene still keeping the track position, but Coffey just continuously has bled time. There's Fluger running on by the 17. This is the best that Cook's looked now since some of his earlier incidents. Caution, another spin, and this time Yost gets Norfree collected in it as well.
Yeah, Caden Norfree, second caution here in a row he's been involved in, which is not ideal for him. We'll show you the V-Speed replay of how this went down between these two cars, Norfree and Yost. Back there, and oh yeah, Yost just gets into the back of him off the corner, sends him around. This is actually kind of in front of the leaders. You're going to see Lawson Park and Mario Miranda come around here shortly, and that's what brings the caution out.
Some close calls for a few people too, but you can see almost a checkup effect. Again, this is the back of the lead lap essentially, / lap down, middle miss in front.
And as they dive into turn 3, Yost just, I think he just sensed it in a little too deep. Didn't think the 45 was gonna check up the way he did. And that sent both of those cars around. And then you see Larson Parker, Mario Miranda come flying through at speed there.
That puts us back at the caution, and those drivers end up losing at least a lap from that situation. So, the fresh tires absolutely were flying there, and now this has really shook it up some of the order here. Austin Cook in particular seems comfortable. The quote-unquote bottom split king, as his bumper says, is up to 4th.
Sure, he's in bottom split today, considering some of the drivers he's beaten out here. Really good field tonight, you know. You've got Ross Harlow in the field, Shane Wyatt, Mario Miranda. A lot of big-time drivers in Lawson Parker. Might be the bottom, or Lawson Parker's beating them all. Bottom split king back there is Austin Cook. He's doing pretty good as well.
Already getting ready for the restart. These cautions going very fast here tonight, here from Five Flags. So we regroup again. Again, it's Parker, Miranda, G, Cook, Fluger, and it's Coffey. Alongside Wyatt, Allen, Watchers, and Carpenter. Once your top 10 for the restart. Way early on the launch for Parker. That gets him clear, and already looking to run away.
Josh Jean on those old tires is going to send it up the inside of Miranda. He has not pit all race. Only car not to come into the pits is the 78. And on 114 lap old tires, he is still taking the fight to this 99 car.
Still showing there's a lot of speed that led better performance entry here tonight. But here comes Cook. Cook, remember, tried that outside before and looped it. This time a little bit more tentative on trying that line.
Yeah, sticking with the inside for now, trying to get to the inside of Jean. Takes a peek there, but he can't quite do it as Miranda's gotten clear on the outside. All over the bumper of that car, not quite moving him yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. If it takes him a couple more laps, he might use it.
Back 44 entry, meanwhile, this is Rogers. Fluger Alonso still on the old tires, but it's time to go beast mode, so to speak. Like Rogers' card says, he's on the prowl on the inside.
Hot Wheels machine making good time for the field up to 8th. Fluger's kind of spent most of this race in the back half of that top 10, still there in 9th. Had a lot of comers and goers this race. Rogers is one of them. Feels like he's been all around, settling into 8th right now.
Up the road, by the way, Austin Cook has completed the pass for 3rd spot. Did it on the outside as Alex Coffey now looks to try and do the same.
Wyatt back there in 6th is looking. Another car with a hole in the nose back there. We've seen a couple of those cars have used the bumper to try to make positions and have got a little bit of damage to the front end as a result. Gene, no exception. Still single file here all the way back through the field. It's going to be interesting to see who makes the next move. It might take a mistake from the driver in front to get it done.
We've seen mistakes pop up a fair bit after so many laps turned on the racetrack. Wyatt was amongst those who did have those mistakes here. Your thoughts on what we've seen from Wyatt, able to now hold the fort and try and make a battle for the top 5?
Finally starting to move up to the field here. We know he's a driver with a lot of pace. Kind of, again, another one of those drivers who's hung around the back half of the top 10 for most of this race. Trying to get back up here to battle with Coffee, to battle with Gene in this top 5 like we know he has the speed to do. Watching on board as he senses down into turn 1.
From the race leader, Brenda staying within about 3/10 by the way so far in this run. Parker has kind of backed up what we were talking about earlier. It has made it difficult to keep up and pass.
Yeah, fastest car in practice, and he's pulling away in the race as well. Maybe he didn't get the quality result he wanted, but he's shown a lot of speed in that 18. He's a little loose through 3 there. That's going to allow Mario Miranda to close right back up in second. We'll see what he can do. Parker already trying to get back away.
I'm pushing a little bit too hard if he's getting that loose. Is starting to slide a lot more than he was before. Miranda staying right in the catbird seat, in the pressurizing seat.
Maybe a little bit of contact there between those two as Miranda continues to hound Parker. Caution out further back in the field where we'll see where this comes from.
Norfrey is around once again. Looks like Stephen Harlow also getting collected. Those drivers were battling 2 laps down.
Ooh, wrecking at the back, never ideal. Norfrey in the 45's had a really rough go of it. Yep, collects the 6 of Stephen Harlow. Big checkup down the straightaway on the V-Speed replay. Everybody getting involved.
It almost looked like, Sky, everybody in this pack behind Taylor just missed the corner. Like corner exit, everybody just sailed to the wall.
I mean, maybe the 45 checked up, didn't know Taylor was going to be there, and then, well, yeah, I mean, that's Schmeese and that's Ross Harlow both just sending it into the back of each other. Maybe another case of a driver behind Norfrey just not anticipating the checkup.
See a lot of others at the time, too, were smacking the wall. That included the 5 of Ross Harlow, who's in 16. Under caution once again, a lot of more pit stops for some drivers towards the back of the field, but up front, Parker started to burn up those rears just a little bit more than he's comfortable with for the time being.
Yeah, we saw him get loose, and that really hurt him. It allowed Miranda to get right back up to him before the caution came out. Worth noting, Josh Jean was the last car in the field to not pit, has finally pit. He's put 4 fresh tires on the car after 130 laps on his opening set.
Grouped again for the restart. Those rain clouds are definitely forming up. Most Ducati skybox now. It is not going to rain in Sim, obviously, but it sure does look cloudy out there.
Yeah, drivers better hope they have those NASCAR short track rain tires warming up in the pits for this. Air temperature pretty low, obviously, it being December in Florida. 67 degrees Fahrenheit, track temp 76. A bit loose out there for these drivers.
Larson Parker off and away again. Already clear as he tries to bring Cook with him. Cook jumps up for the battle for second.
Miranda fighting back on the outside in third. Trying to get around the 17 car, but he can't do it. They'll stay side by side for second back there. And Miranda will fall off a little bit back. Caution once again, 9th one of the race.
And Jeffrey Taylor being ping-ponged around under the caution. So the 9 was running in 13th.
Josh Jean heavily involved. We'll see it on the V-Speed replay. 61 of Corey Cook into the back of the 9. Big damage from 31 Brad Carpenter. And 78 of Josh Jean as well. 22 of Jordan Schmeats, kind of innocent victim in that as well at the end there. Ross Harlow and Corey Cook kind of getting together. I was going to say about Josh Jean, when you're at the back like that, you're really susceptible to getting caught up in these kind of incidents. That's part of the risk of pitting off strategy. You go to the back alone, that just might happen.
That's a pit to be able to try and get fuel, and now instead he's coming back to pit road with damage repair. Let's take a break. More coverage coming up. Shawanshi, the off-axis paint snow derby from Five Flags.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back and away, as off and away goes Larson Parker. As Rob Miranda stays in third spot for now, but Austin Cook, he's right now moving. He wants the lead from the high side.
Those two light blue cars doing the battle for the lead. 18 and 17, Parker and Cook still going at it. I don't think Cook's led any laps this race. Austin Cook started in 18th. Trying to get to the lead for the first time this race, but the caution is out once again at the back.
John Rogers from 8th spot. Corey Moore getting collected as well. Once again, we're under caution.
See it on the V-Speed replay. Ooh, already in progress there. A little further up the field from what we've seen in these kind of previous cautions. These cars were racing for 8th when this happened. The 84. Corey Moore, contact with 44 of Sean Rogers. Big damage to both machines.
Especially to the 44, no meatball flag, but that car absolutely wounded.
Yeah,
what to say.
I think it just sent it in a little deep there. Contact with the 44, both of them. Yeah, both of them are going to be really damaged.
That at the very least Moore has already made his way to the pit lane. The 45-4 of Rogers has not gone to the pit lane quite yet.
Luckily for both of those cars, they still have their fast repairs, so they are not out of it just yet.
So now this is becoming a strategy blender, so to speak, for some of these cars. Right now, Josh Jean, after his situation, coming back down for repairs done. Back up to the 10th position. Others like Ross Harlow has had to come down for damage repair, already up to 9th spot. It's going to be one of those types of races where if you get the strategy right, you're golden, it seems, at this point with the way things are going.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a strategy race and also a bit of a survival race. 10 or 11 cautions here already. Just getting halfway through here. These drivers who have survived the chaos and are up front are going to have the good shot at it. Because some of the really fast cars in this field, guys like Schmeats and Norfrey, who ran to the top 10, Stephen Harlow as well, are all out of it multiple laps down with damage. So he's got to keep surviving, keep making good time, and he'll stay up there.
Parker, Cook, Miranda, Wyatt, Coffee, Allen, Luger, Garvey. Your top 4 rows for this restart. Parker has been going on pace car. Austin Cook just about timed it up perfect. Now he's trying to make the move up from the outside lane. Once again, able to get the pinch.
Seen a lot of cars go really early out of turn 4. That might be a reaction to when Ross Harlow was getting those jumps on the outside, clear and Coffee. The drivers on the inside have learned. They've learned to jump early. For the 17, a Cook has gotten to the inside of Larson Parker. And as they head down into turn 3 and 4, will stay side by side. Can Austin Cook get the lead for the first time this race?
Parker pushed up the track. Austin Cook does get the lead lap for the first time today. Now Parker gets uprooted from the race lead. Miranda looking to move his way to second.
Bit of contact between those two cars, but they keep it straight. Parker's going to have to really force Miranda down to the inside there to be able to make that work. Ooh, really tight between Miranda and the inside wall. Trying to get that inside line working. And they'll stay side by side from 3 and 4.
Leaning on each other right now. Parker just about up into the wall with how much space. Just about getting squeezed out from by Miranda. Miranda, for good measure, is getting squeezed back by Parker every corner exit.
Still side by side. Miranda has been maybe a little behind Parker for what feels like the last 80 laps of this race. Here's his chance to get that spot and to pursue Cook for the lead. Still can't get it though. They're still side by side. Shane Wyatt is watching this and smiling, knowing how much these drivers are burning it up. You see it right there. Miranda loose on the inside.
Flag this time by, cross flags up at the stripe. It's Austin Cook who leads at the midway point. Now they look to see what happens from here because Austin Cook, he's had a battle to get here. Coffee, he's battling with Levi Allen. This is for 5th.
He'll get the spot over Allen for now. We'll see if Allen tries to fight up here, if he tries to drop in. Looks like he's going to try to drop in. 5-car Ross Harlow sliding in the back. Caution is out.
Under yellow once again. This time, might have been a case of dart on the accelerator off turn 4. It's been a balancing act. Make sure you accelerate without snapping loose.
Maybe some contact here with the 78 of Machine. We'll see what happens. Oh no, lost it on his own. 5-car Ross Harlow around. A little tap to the inside wall, but it seems like he's made it out okay.
And tap to the inside wall. See him drop back to 18th. Here's a look once again for G.
He'll see it on board from the car behind him. How did this happen? Ross Harlow, we know he just kind of went around. Josh Jean was looking at the inside of the 5-car trying to make something happen. 5-car, yep, on the throttle too early. Lost it out of 4.
So we're back under caution once again. And so far, let's take the chance to look at some of the paint schemes because Austin Cook is amongst those. We talked about Christmas schemes for tonight. Who else would you throw into that mix? If you look through the field, you have to be able to pick them out. Believe there is more of a summer theme on Parker. You have Fluger. You could also throw in the Christmas competition or like Christmas wrapping for the evening.
Caden Norford, he's 2 laps down, but he's got that Christmas card going. Alex Coffey right there as well. 80 as well. That's Victor Fluger back there. A couple cars in the field. Caden Norfrey's got the Coffee Performance Christmas scheme. Festive mood all around here for many cars in the field.
Remember, we're the ones talking about this for later on. See who had the best paint scheme. My pick's on the 45.
I think I might be with you there.
Yeah, that paint scheme, while it's been battered and destroyed, it was nice when it was clean.
I think we might be in agreement there. That might be our pick for the post-race awards.
Really stacking up back there. Oh, we have some contact back there coming to the green flag. Smith bounced off somebody back there as Cook ran away off the launch with Miranda the second.
I was watching that. We were talking about the paint scheme, and right behind it, both Harlow cars drove into the back of each other. 18 big loose. Contact from Wyatt down into the corner, but he keeps it straight, and that allows Miranda to get away for the time being on lap 158.
Wyatt nearly got some out from Wyatt. Speeds has just parked it. 28 is now out of the race. That was a weird restart, and that's really staggered things back 10, 12 or so. Losing a lot of ground. This entire pack lost a lot of ground.
Yeah, you could see just the kind of the gap there between those cars. Get a V-Speed replay here. This is the 97. Levi Allen we're watching. Let's take it with us side by side. We'll see what happens to him right here. Ooh, yeah, a little loose through there. Takes it down onto the apron, but he keeps it straight. Good save to keep that thing going.
There's more contact to the wall. That was Jeffrey Taylor. And now Taylor nearly got helped around by Middle Miss.
Yeah, Middle Miss and Taylor are going to drop way back. A lot of chaos for the last couple spots on the lead lap here. And even some of the lap down cars, they've been getting frantic back here.
Up front, Parker, he's trying to get his spots back. Wanting second, now looking to try it inside, outside, wherever line it works.
Yeah, trying to make the move to the inside of Miranda in that driven activation and marketing car. Sitting in second for now. He's going to need to be driven to catch up to Cook, who's starting to pull away from the lead.
The more they battle, the more this helps Cook just run away.
Oh, for sure, especially as these two cars maybe waste their tires trying to get second. That gap for Cook's opened up to about 0.7 of a second.
Once again a peak, once again a door slam. And it takes time to set up a pass here. Up to 10 laps, you could argue, to be able to make the setup for a pass. Well, they're going to have a chance to go to caution. Car around the front stretch.
Again. It's Norfree. We were just saying how nice that paint scheme looked, and it's head on into the wall.
It's snapping a pretty night. 20th, 3 laps down.
Let's see what happened to him. Oh, he's loose entering the corner. He was going around before he even made it into the corner. Had to slam on the brakes to avoid spinning it. And Sean Rogers was already committed.
Give him credit. Knows if you lock it down, you can prevent the spin. The problem is you locked it down at the racing line.
Yeah, that's going to give some major nose damage to the Hot Wheels machine and Sean Rogers as well. Beast mode car torn up for sure in that accident. You'll see it here. Yep. Right into the rear end of the 45.
Once it's under yellow yet again. First of those who pit, by the way, Brad Carpenter led the pit party this time around. Others like Taylor, once again, having to get service done. But I was about to say, it's an art form to make a pass. It takes a lot of patience to get it done right here.
Oh, for sure. Especially it's a track where the inside line is so dominant, you really have to ring the white line on the bottom. You have to get the run either out of the corner, really out of the corner. You know, sometimes you see drivers kind of arc it high through the center and then back down on exit, trying to get the run to the inside, because that's really the only way you can get it done, is to peek up the inside.
Looks like we're already getting ready for the restart once again. Past the halfway point in this one. These drivers been in full race mode for some of these competitors for, well, your 4 or 5 hours now. Qualifying. They have seen these drivers around the racetrack for more than 2 hours. 7 lead changes so far tonight. It's been competitive. See who's been contender up front. Coming up to the restart. Austin Cook went later this time. Mario Miranda nearly jumped him. Miranda goes back to second.
It was a really bad start for Lawson Parker back there. We are back into 4th, getting passed by Shane Wyatt into 23. They're still side by side, 2 rows back from that. Coffee side by side with Fluger. Gene taking the spot over Austin Garvey.
Just like that, Parker losing ground. Coffee looking to gain ground. Fluger trying to use the top of the racetrack, though, to his advantage.
Side by side for these cars. Parker's gotten the run up the inside of Wyatt now, and he's trying to make a move for 3rd as they continue to go at it. Gene up the inside of Fluger back for 6th.
Trouble.
Caution! Gene around and Parker around.
Parker.
Oh my God, he's almost up and over.
Parker carried all the way to the outside wall, all the way down the front straightaway.
2 cautions in 1 there. Josh Gene already disconnected from the session with a massive hit he took to the inside wall. And while my eyes were on the 78 going around, the 18 nearly flipped over. You see the 78, he's around in the back, and then the 23 rear ends the 18 car, Larson Parker. Does a full pirouette into the catch fence.
Hard contact at this point. Larson Parker. Surprisingly, no meatball flag. But that was just as the caution started coming out for this. Parker technically can keep his track position, but isn't going to keep it. This is what sparked the caution.
Yeah, this is Josh Gene. Slides up the track a bit in front of Victor Fluger. Maybe some contact there sent him around. And he's back up into the car behind him. Both of them into the fence. Oh, and the 9, Jeffrey Taylor, is also into the fence back there. Maybe 3 separate incidents all at once.
It's not been Taylor's night. Larson Parker not used the fast repair yet in live action. Here's the one for Wyatt.
I'm not sure if maybe the caution coming out threw something off there. If, you know, while Parker was trying to slide in front, the caution came out, gave him the spot, and then he just checked up while the other car didn't. I'm not sure how that played out.
Once again.
Yeah, pace car is pulling off here, so we're going to go straight back to green. Austin Cook, huge jump over Alex Coffey to lead him off. Mario Miranda made a pit stop.
Oh, and more trouble in the pack. A bit more smoke kicked up for Miranda. With the drivers taking pit stop strategies, this is the hornet's nest that some have to get through cleanly without any major troubles. This is going to be a trouble spot.
Yeah, we've seen a couple cars pit. Levi Allen, Sean Rogers, Fluger, and Miranda all taking new tires. Cook and Coffee still out there on the ones from their last stop. Johnny Shade as well. Those cars all out on older tires, while some of the other cars further back making some strategy moves.
Well, the dice for some. Expecting these drivers to now get offset for a bit. We've already seen those who went offset now knocked out of the race. Mario Miranda on the cold tires, not looking comfortable.
Yeah, he's going to need to start moving up through the field here if he wants to get back to that lead, but he's already getting pulled away from by Fluger in that 80 car. Miranda spent much of the race in the top 3. Fluger kind of has hung back around 7th to 8th all race. Fluger got the speed right now as Miranda continues to fall back. Fastest lap of the race was just ran by the 80 of Victor Fluger.
Keeping an eye on some of the errors. This includes that 18. Oh, 18. Interesting enough, Larson Parker did not take damage repair. He's going to be driving with a wooden race car for the next while.
Be interesting. I mean, I can't imagine what the thinking would have been there behind doing that. Maybe he just didn't get as much damage as it looked like.
Well, still is moving forward that car right now for the time being. But looking up front, towards the front should say Johnny Shade. He's been someone in the mid-pack most of the day. He is in front of a 2x2 brigade.
Yeah, and check out some of these cars on newer tires. Levi Allen's playing the strategy well, up to third. Victor Pfluger as well, up to fifth. He might be the fastest car on the racetrack right now, and he's made a lot of moves since the restart. Meanwhile, Mario Miranda just getting up to ninth now around Corey Cook.
Just trying to get themselves into a rhythm. That has to be the main thing, right? Get a green flag run, get a rhythm.
For sure. Especially for Miranda, who's kind of, shaking on these colder tires. Needs to get a good run here, needs to get around Harlow, Moore, all these cars up in front of him. Stay steady, stay consistent, don't make any mistakes, and I think you'll find yourself back up there by the end of this.
See all the racing suits from his rear world stuff with Legends cars in the background. He's been getting a lot of notoriety, competing in a lot of different series, working with Nexus as talked about. Nexus, of course, one of the top teams on the platform. Miranda's really showcased in the past year especially what he can do in a stock car on the sim.
For sure, as you said, Collegiate iRacing League champion just a couple weeks ago. Trying to get it done here in the Snow Derby now, running in ninth. Starting to close it up to Harlow and Moore here. Might take a peek to the inside this time. He will take a peek to the inside this time. 99 is going to try to move around the 6 for 8.
Starting to get comfortable on those tires, it looks like. Able to make the move on one of the Harlows. Still a long way to go, though, if he wants to make his way, or anybody, up to the race leaders, because Cook and Coffee are gone by a good 2+ seconds.
Yeah, even though they're on 70, 75 lap older tires and the cars in 3rd, 4th, and 6th, they have really opened the gap. Cook and Coffee, 3-second lead over Levi Allen.
This is interesting when it comes to Cook. Earlier on in the race, if you told me that Cook would be up front after all the spins, it'd be okay. I'm not sure what you can really say to that. But so far, Cook's been looking really good. Pfluger, by the way, up to 3rd now, passing out.
Off that corner, too, a little bit of a slide out of 4. Kept it straight, didn't lose too much speed. He's still going good. Allen now getting passed by Johnny Shade, which is very interesting because Johnny Shade is on 70 lap older tires, and he's still keeping up the fight.
And with massive damage, too. Don't forget, a lot of damage to the front clip. You can see it from there. It's going to be impacting just a little bit right now. So what goes through your mind here with the race like this now? So we're starting to settle into one of our longer green flag runs of the race, and knowing you just have 105 laps to go.
I mean, I'm really anxiously waiting for this kind of tire crossover. Austin Cook just put 100 laps on this set of tires. When is the point when those tires are going to start to fall off? Pfluger and Allen and Rogers, who are all, 23 to 30 laps on those tires, are going to be able to start making the push, because it's not right now. Cook and Coffee are still the fastest cars.
Some of those involved in some of the incidents earlier, trying to battle things out. Corey Moore, this is a little while ago, looking like he's got his rhythm back together. This is the battle box for 6 through 8.
Miranda still trying to claw back through the field on those newer tires. John Rogers, similar pitch strategy, except I believe he only took 2 on the last caution. 1 spot ahead of him. Miranda got his work cut out for him to get back to that top 3 because he's 5 seconds back from Austin Cook.
Stephen Harlow trying to work to the inside of the backdrop, all while Miranda trying to find his way around Rogers. Rogers, his car built like a tent, it seems. As there's the look over the Moore. Now with Harlow to the inside. This is for 8.
For sure, still battling back here for the 8th spot with Moore. You're going to see the onboard there. Stephen Harlow in ninth, driving that 6 car. Feels like he's been all the way through the field. He was a lap down at one point earlier in this race, but he's gotten it back up onto the lead lap, back into 8th. Used his fast repair along the way as well, but he's making it work for him right now. And as we get under 100 to go, he is now going to look to Miranda and Rogers.
When it comes to Harlow, Stephen Harlow, amongst those who races in Sim 500 competition, a lot of different leagues, but he is the leader of its super late model division with 3 races to go. So Stephen Harlow does have good experience. We're seeing some of that experience come in. A big slide and a lockup for the 44.
Job to not get wrecked there. Lost a couple spots, he'll slide back to 10th, getting down in front of Shane Wyatt, but it could have been a lot worse for the 44 car. See how this goes. Oh yeah, he just gets loose, a bit high on entry, slides it, locks it down nicely, and he only loses about 3 positions.
Not bad. Still gonna have some trouble with the tires after that slide. Shane Wyatt underneath as we take a look back to the 6. Again, these drivers gonna have to close up a good second plus to get back up to Allen.
So impressed by how Cook is doing this right now. Fluger is on 77 laps, newer tires. Cook is still the fastest car on the racetrack. 111 laps on that side.
Now here's the thing. The longer this run goes, the more you have to think, what about fuel mileage? Because I don't think they are going to be able to go near 200 laps on gas here tonight on green flag.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he last hit around lap 97, so he's sticking it out. I'd have to imagine at some point he has to come down. I think most of the field would likely have to come down, barring some of the cars he hit very recently. I'm just impressed by how well those tires have held up. I mean, he's still the fastest car on the racetrack, even after 113 laps.
It's just not let up on the pace. It's just trying to keep the gap stretched out. Some people like to be able to just run away, and the more that interval grows, the happier they get.
Well, it's working for him right now. Led 67 laps.
Double
so far
turn
this
4.
race.
Stephen Harlow's in the wall. Caution flag is out.
Oh, big hit.
Middle miss.
Oh, another big hit. Oh my gosh. Arca breaks for the 29 of Richie Yost.
Yost right on in 3 seconds after the caution came out after he flipped around the racetrack. See, this is from when he just tried to go for 6th.
Up the inside of Miranda. Ooh, slides it a bit high through the corner into the door of Miranda and gets tapped head on into the outside wall. That's the 16 of Middle Miss getting collected as well. And I am not entirely sure what is going on here with the 29 of Richie Yost, but it ends up with Harlow on his roof.
That's significant damage. Obviously, he has already picked up a meatball flag in this race. He's out of the car already. Let's take a look again.
Yeah, Harlow, one of those drivers who had already used his fast repair. And that is going to be it for him tonight. I am so confused.
I think he just locked it up with tunnel vision.
Potentially. I mean, yeah, something went wrong there on that car for him to just go head on into the door of Harlow that way.
We have some pit stops by the way. Just happening to Rogers. Middle miss picking up a black flag in the midst of the chaos. I believe Rogers just stopped on the racetrack. But Fluger is now your race leader as he stayed out this window.
Yeah, Fluger and Miranda, along with Wyatt and Corey Cook, have all stayed out. Sean Rogers as well, not sure where he's going to slot in. As mentioned, he did stop on the racetrack. Looks like he'll slot into third with those 5 cars who have a pit. Everyone else further back, Cook, Allen, Moore, Coffee, Shade, All those guys making moves down pit road.
So more shuffling of the field here. Now Fluger retested here. We'll see how the tires hold up. Fresh tires from 6th on back. See though, if you've got a good enough car, you can make the old tires work on speed. Dead even on the start. In fact, Miranda takes the lead.
Great run on the outside there, and he's going to try to get around Victor Fluger. We'll see if he can do it. He will. 99 clear to the lead off into turn 4, Boomer Sooner.
So Austin Cook jumps his way to 3rd. All sorts of shuffling behind Cook right now. That goes to lead by Allen on the bottom of the racetrack. Alex Coffey boxed in 3 wide as Cook gets forced to the middle.
Now to be spotter saying 3 wide, you're in the middle. That is maybe the scariest thing to hear at 5 flags. Corey Cook gets through it, but he drops a couple spots back to 9th as they're side by side behind him. Parker trying to make the move.
For the race lead, they are bumping and baiting hard. Austin Cook just about turned around Miranda out of turn 2. Miranda trying to park it. He's getting uprooted again.
Cook is not taking any prisoners. He is going for the lead here to the inside of Miranda, the bottom split warrior. Gets the move done, but they'll stay side by side. Cook leads the lap, gets clear. Now it's Miranda to the back bumper. We'll see if he repays the favor.
Talk about bowling someone out of the way. He wanted that track position, wanted it immediately. Fluger also trying to go over the back of Miranda. 3 wide to the back once again. Once again up the middle goes Rogers. Pushed up the track this time is Wyatt.
Rogers going to try to cut down back to the inside of the 18 car, but he can't do anything. Worth mentioning is Cook gets a second away from the rest of this field now. He just pit. He's on new tires. 40 laps fresher than Miranda and Fluker, and it is clearly working as he stretches those tires to their limit to get the lead.
Now Miranda taking 3 wide top. Allen boxed in. Coffey goes up the middle. Passes 3 for 1 in about 1 to 2 sets of corners.
We're 75% of the way through this race, and the anxiety is ramping up. We're going 3 wide, 2 wide, huge sends everywhere. It is getting intense out here. Miranda goes from 2nd back to 6th in just a couple corners. Coffey back to 2nd, and now Fluger is going to look to the inside for 3rd.
Fluger, he nearly gets turned around. Now it's a hard cut to the inside. Fast repair taken by Larson Parker. Parker jumps up a spot there. Lap traffic for the race leaders, and it's going to be Corey Cook. Here's the thing, Corey Cook apparently had a slide that did not put a caution out. He's got no rear bumper or rear spoiler.
No. But yeah, he's 15 seconds back there, the leader, way back. Last car on the lead lap. Won't be last car on the lead lap any longer. You can see the internals of that thing. Running it like it's a funny car.
Yeah, that is a dangerous situation. No downforce. You'd have to think of the back end of Corey Cook's car. He's got a lot of hungry hippos ready to zip on by. Larson Parker has jumped back up to 3rd, by the way. We know Larson Parker is going to be hungry to knock down this time fast.
Rapidly gaining on that 2nd place car, Alex Coffey. Coffey goes a little high through the corner. Parker was able to get to the inside and gain a little bit of time there. Not enough to make the move, though. Still right behind.
Still got to work for 70 more laps of racing in this one. Larson Parker now sees the traffic ahead. Coffey with the traffic to the inside. Does Larson Parker push the issue? Looks like he'll remain patient here. We already know Larson Parker has burned up the rear tires a fair bit while pushing too hard. That's going to be a balancing act. Make sure he doesn't kill the tires here.
Yeah, but he's got a clean car, though. He took his fast repair. Got the damage fixed as Coffey slaps the wall. 68 to go. Now is the time to go. And you're seeing that right here for Cook, Coffey, and Larson Parker. Larson Parker up the inside for 2nd.
Makes it easy. already lap traffic management coming up over the radio. Austin Garvey just got lapped on the racetrack. We are down to 12, by the way, on the lead lap. How things have gone so far. A lot of attrition tonight. Plenty of drivers already 8+, with more than 10 laps down from damage so far in this one.
Miranda rapidly dropping the field. He's already back to 8th. He's fallen straight back through the field. Lost 6 seconds. Austin Cook in front. That car is not driving the way he wants it to right now at all.
Yeah, that balance doesn't seem like it's there. Lights are on around the racetrack, interesting enough. It's not even 5 o'clock in sim, but it's gotten that dark around the racetrack that the lights are turning on.
4:30 p.m. is what it takes in Florida.
Well, daylight savings time definitely doesn't help.
Neither does it be in December.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. But at this point, what can Miranda do, knowing this car is going south, the wrong direction, especially knowing he's likely stuck on this strat the rest of the way?
I think if a caution comes out, he just needs to pit. Like, doesn't matter what spot he's in, doesn't matter what he's doing, doesn't matter what the strategy is. If he has a chance to put that last set of tires on, he needs to put that last set of tires on.
It's to the point where Jeffrey Taylor, who is a lap down, is actually faster than him. Miranda just about loops it. He does loop it.
Oh, Jeffrey middle miss going for the ARCA brake, but he manages to make it through. Miranda looped her out. It looked like that was maybe the result of some contact there.
I don't think they touched. He was on the apron though, Miranda.
Let's see what happened. He's going to be coming down into 3 and 4 here. He was really close to his rear bumper. We'll see. Yeah, I can't tell from that angle. It looked like Miranda might have just gotten on the apron and looped it around there. And middle miss into the outside wall, trying to avoid it.
That's what happens when you get pressurized into a mistake, is all you can say.
99 around on the front stretch. There shouldn't be too much damage to that car, though, and he has the faster car if he needs it.
And not a surprise, but Miranda is in. Wyatt also coming on in. Moore is in. Carpenter come down. Fluger also came down for service. So new tires onto the 99 machine. Now with this caution period.
It's led 25 laps today, but he's going to be going to the back of the lead lap here. Only about 25 lap newer tires for him, Corey Moore, and Victor Fluger. 3 cars have come down. See how it cycles out for him. Brad Carpenter also in the pits, and Shane Wyatt.
This trims down that gap that Austin Cook had built up more than a second. Larson Parker was starting to get in position to try and trim that gap down prior to the caution flag 2. This is going to get interesting to see if the old tires run away again, or if the new tires do what they did earlier and take off.
For sure. I believe the lights on the pace car might be out this time. They will be. So we're going to get the field bunched up. We're going to get back under green. 55 to go from 5 flags.
56 precisely for when they take the green flag. 55 the next time around after that. But it's Austin Cook, it's Larson Parker, Alex Coffey, Levi Allen, Corey Moore, Victor Fluger, Brad Carpenter, Mario Miranda back in 8th. Flag is out. Austin Cook went early this time. It's forcing a battle for second.
Larson Parker is now under threat from Coffey back there for second. Coffey kind of forced it up the inside lane, but it don't work. Parker gets away, and now he is racing with Levi Allen for third.
Allen able to jump up to third in this one. Now Coffey looking for the switchback though. Side by side for a quick moment, but Allen wiggles his way up the racetrack.
Side by side, 2 rows back. Coffee is sliding. He's nearly around. He's nearly around. He is around. No caution. No caution.
I believe he used Brad Carpenter to save the car. And now the field is all sorts of scattered from this.
We'll see how it happened here. 19 sliding into turn 1. He gets a little bit loose and it all goes downhill from there. Tries to save it, can't save it. Big contact with 31 Carpenter. I am not entirely sure how a caution was not triggered at that.
If Carpenter wasn't there, we'd probably under yellow right now. Instead, Coffee drops all the way back to 11th. Last of the lead lap, trouble in front of Coffee. Caution is out, it's Ross Harlow.
Around right on the start-finish line for the 5 car. Get a V-Speed replay for you. Show you how this happened.
Austin Garvey and Coffee were both collected in this one.
Garvey on the inside of Harlow. Oh, a little bit of contact to the rear quarter panel there. Sends 5 car around.
Puts us back of the caution as tempers are starting to pop up.
Especially this late in the race, under 50 to go. Getting frantic out there.
Extremely frantic, you could argue, absolutely. Let's take a quick break, under 50 laps to go. Watching coverage from V-Speed.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Off-Axis Paint Snow Derby here on V-Speed. Into the closing stages of this one. Austin Cook, Larson Parker, Corey Moore, your top 3 coming up to this restart. Cook goes early, off and away, and some big blocks and some spins in the back. Caution is out, it's Brad Carpenter.
17th caution of the race, sees the 31 around on the restart. He had just bid for new tires and don't think that's how he wanted that to go. Contact with the 19, Alex Coffey.
Brad Carpenter just said on the radio he missed a shift, and that was a timely spot to miss it.
Yep, on the restart, doesn't get going. 19, Alex Coffey, the victim in that one.
Apologies over the radio as let's take a listen. You've seen it with the gauge full yellow, just stay locked at the top of the chip.
And that might be a problem for Alex Coffey. He already used his fast repair. We're actually running out of cars who haven't used their fast repair. I think it's easier to just list off the cars who haven't at this point.
Still at 12 of the lead lap, by the way. 13 now, I should say, right now. I believe Jeffrey Taylor is the tail end. Well, not sure, but can say this is still going to be the type of field that we might see things flip around. Talked about the tire strats earlier. Levi Allen and Shane Wyatt, along with Alex Coffey, had pit just on the previous caution period.
Austin Cook and Larson Parker up there, 44 and 42 lap old tires. They are the oldest tires in the field. Next 4 cars all pit 16 laps ago. Next 3 all just now came down pit road. As we look at this, the cars who have not taken their fast repair, they got one in the bank. Austin Cook up front, followed by, further back, Levi Allen has not taken fast repair, along with Mario Miranda. Shane Wyatt also has not. Brad Carpenter and Jeffrey Taylor.
Going up to the restart this time around. See how the strategy roulette now plays out for these drivers, or we end up seeing cautions, precautions with what's going to be 41 laps to go. Very early launch, tire spin this time. Back at her way as Parker tries to play defense.
Yeah, Cook launched as soon as that pace car went off. He did not waste any time, and that got him out to a 0.4 of a second gap over Parker. Side by side, 2 rows back, Rogers and Pfluger for 4th, Miranda and Allen for 6th, and Alex Coffey, despite the damage, trying to insert himself back into this fight today.
Right now, Miranda Alonso's trying to regain some ground and quickly. He led 25 laps earlier in this one. Been having trouble since. He avoids trouble as the 44 has a slide. Rogers with more trouble.
We've seen him involved in a lot, but he's managed to keep it up here in 9th. Not going to be happy about that slide, though. Oh, now he's in the fence. More trouble for the 44 car. Fastest lap of the race was just ran by the 80 of Victor Pfluger in 4th.
Wow, followed on board with some of the battles with Pfluger. Pfluger so far tonight, leading just 3 laps of the race, got uprooted for the lead pretty quickly on strategy. Now is in the train, trying to reel it in. Cook, but the caution flag is out once again. It's on the front straightaway. Mario Miranda.
You got Miranda around. You got the 97 Levi Allen around. Couple cars in front of them involved. Looks like Johnny Shade, Brad Carpenter also taking contact.
Another caution. It looks like the 19 of Coffey also collected in it.
Ooh, Miranda loose off the corner. 97 makes contact with the rear end, and then somehow it looked like maybe the 5 and the 31 got caught up going down into turn 1 as they tried to avoid it.
Yeah, I'm curious on the second half of that there. Yeah, right.
That was it, yep.
Yeah, that left side of the screen, hard contact for a lot of drivers.
It looked like the 31 of Brad Carpenter saw that wreck happen in front of him, got on the brakes. Ross Harlow did not get on the brakes, and that was the end result.
Cook also making contact, did not pick up a meatball flag from it. Here's a look on board.
Ooh, yeah. He just didn't brake. He went full speed into there. Carpenter checked up and tried to dodge the accident. And big damage for all those cars. Brad Carpenter's just parked in the pit lane.
Both the Harlows have parked it after that issue. So we are continuously shedding cars now with this caution period. Still, get back going, about 30 laps to go. And now it comes to question, can Cook hold on for more than 30 more laps?
He's going to be on. If this race goes green, he'll be on 85 lap old tires by the time this ends. We've seen him go about 110 without a lot of fall off. Might be able to make it last. Only time will tell.
Coming up to what will be 31 laps to go in the race. We're down to 10 drivers remaining on the lead lap with this issue. With discussion period. Cook, Parker, Moore, Fluger, Coffee, Wyatt, your top 6.
Pace car is going to pull in here. Another instant jump for Cook, and we're back underway.
Up to second goes Moore. Moore trying to keep alongside Parker. Parker trying to squeeze. Parker does not want to give this spot up.
Tight racing for B2. Moore is on the slightly fresher tires, but I'm not sure how much of a difference that's going to make. Only about 30 laps between them. Seeing tires much older than that hold up for these front 2 cars. Meanwhile, Coffee, Fluger, similar strategy to Moore, trying to get around him just on speed back here for 4th and 5th.
Now, Fluger pushing tight. He's got significant left side damage to that front nose. Seems to be dragging him up the racetrack, all while Coffee drags himself to the inside line.
Side by side for 3rd. Coffee trying to get a spot back on the podium. $50 to win tonight, but it's 20 for 2nd and 10 for 3rd. My bad, 25 for 2nd, 10 for 3rd. So getting on the podium is some money here. $10 separates Alex Coffee and more.
Now, March continues on through for Coffee. And this is just the right time for Coffee to start to get his rhythm back together. Remember earlier, he struggled every restart. He seemed to have found confidence as this race has gone on.
He's made it work for sure, driven himself back up to the top 3. We saw him up front a lot earlier, but kind of got taken back in some incidents, caught up in some drama. He's pulled it back up to the podium, and now his sights are set on Parker for 2nd. The big peek to the inside, and I think he just moved Parker out of the way. Try to get P2.
Now they're dooring each other. Coffee still can't get the rotation down to clear fully, but he does get the squeeze with Parker against the wall. Coffee moves to 2nd after not being afraid to move him.
Now he's got his sights set on Austin Cook. He's led so much of this race. I believe he's led the most laps of this race. Be $25 for him if he does that, but he wants 50 more to win the race. Coffee in hot pursuit, trying to get it done.
So about a 1 second gap, needs to close up 7/10 specifically to get back up into the conversation. Jeffrey Taylor, he's right now on the move. You know, Taylor's been a lap down or in the back most of this race. All of a sudden, he's in the conversation for top 5.
He's drivers that's had an adventure today. Started 23rd, got himself up, went back to the rear, had some accidents, had some spins, had some bad strategy, and somehow it's all worked out for him because he's 7th place when it matters the most. 20 to go.
Second biggest mover so far. Your biggest mover is currently your race leader in Cook. Taylor gains a couple more spots though. He can try and put a claim for that extra $25. Might be the biggest mover in the field. Never mind, Taylor just knocked the wall down as we take a look at Wyatt.
There's another one. I feel like that's so many comers and goers this race. Wyatt's another one. Been up and down all through the field, but he's managed to get it back up to 5th when it counts the most. Kind of it's kind of in the middle of Moore and Fluger there. Maybe a little faster than the 84 car in front.
Coffee is gaining a little bit, just a little. He's now gained a 10th, I should say. Is there going to be enough time for him to close up fully? He needs to gain about a few hundredths per lap. If realistically speaking, a 10th or 2 per couple would get him there.
He's going to need to pick up the pace a little more. He was 4 hundredths faster that time around. So about half a tenth quicker than Cook. If he keeps up that pace, it'll be really, really close. He needs to speed it up to get that spot. And yeah, even less of a difference that time around. Coffee only a quarter of a tenth faster. He needs to get moving.
get that move on is the question in time. It's down to 0.5 of a second. Less than 15 laps to do it. Remember, Coffey started this race up on the pole. Didn't even get the chance to lead the first lap. Did battle for the lead early on before sinking as low as the edges of the top 10. Now is his time to strike. He's within half a second, coming around to 11 laps to go.
Yeah, Cook's tires are wearing. He's getting tight. He's starting to make mistakes. And as that happens, Coffey has got the gap down a lot. Cook ran a 2.81 last time around. Coffey a 2.44. Once again, just a little faster for that 19 car. We're going to be 10 to go. This time around, Coffey is within 0.4 of a second.
10 laps to go in the off-axis paint snow derby. Will be $50 richer by the end of the night. Cook right now is in line to be $75 richer at least, with that biggest mover award and the race win in sight. But he's going to need to have the older tires hold on. It's down to 0.3.
They're going to have to get around the lap car of Jameson Middlemiss up here in the 16th. They'll both navigate him pretty nicely. He gets out of the way for him. Coffey, not a great corner there, gets the gap back open. Little slower that time around is going to allow Cook a slight amount of breathing room. It is 7 to go.
Time ticking away right now for Coffey. Right now, Cook starting to miss the bottom again. That closes the gap another few hundreds. Does Coffey use the bumper if he gets there, or does he keep it clean?
Well, if he gets there, for sure. I mean, if I'm him, I'm moving him out of the way the second I get within range. He's got the car working. He's a little faster. He's getting about 0.4 of a tenth faster. He needs to go a little quicker than that if he's going to make this move within the next 5 laps. 5 to go this time. The gap's not coming down quite as quick as he might want.
Cook is getting tighter every corner exit right now. Last time by down the front stretch, he had to lift off the gas. This time a little bit better on throttle, but Coffey still gained. Coffey looking comfortable. Cook needing to park the bus.
A bigger gain that time around for the 19 car. He's finally starting to get it up there. 0.2 of a second now as we hit 3 to go at the line. Coffey is getting within striking distance, and maybe more importantly for this point in the race, he's getting within punting distance. You don't know what's going to happen with 2 to go this time.
1/4 of a second distance. 2 laps to go. We'll scrape to the wall this time for Coffey. Cook staying in rhythm, coming to the white flag this time by.
Coffey is still pounding. He's still on him. 0.2 of a second, but again, that time Cook is a little bit quicker at the line. And as we come across to the white flag, it's going to be 1 straightaway to go. Coffey's going to have 1 more shot at him, and he won't get it done. Austin Cook comes around, and he's going to win the off-axis paint snow derby.
Austin Cook goes from 18th to 1st to take the checker flag. Pick up a $50 payday for the win. He ends up picking up the biggest mover award too in the process. Austin Cook gets it done at 5 flags.
And we'll get another 25 there from leading the most laps as well. So pending all of that, he might be walking out of here with a $100 payday, and we still haven't announced our winner for Best Paint Scheme.
Well, celebration on for Cook. Let's take a break. We'll be back. We'll take a look at the race results, go through the prize totals once again, and speak with the drivers. You're watching V-Speed.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Five Flags for coverage of the off-axis paint snow derby here on V-Speed. One your unofficial race for zones where tonight we had 25 total drivers take the green flag. Yet only one can get the win. Austin Cook gets that win over Alex Coffey. Martin Parker and Shane White are in the top 4. Then you have Fluger and Allen in the top 6. Moore, Taylor, Miranda, along with Sean Rogers. Round out your top 10 and lead lapper Scott.
Cook finishes 11th in the 61 car, along with Johnny Shade back there in 12th. Jamison Middlemiss rallied to finish 13th. Brad Carpenter in 14th. Ross Harlow 15th. Austin Garvey 16th. Stephen Harlow 17th. Richie Yoff 18th. And rounding out the top 20 is Josh Jean, Hayden Norton.
And you have Sweet, who finished 21st spot. Cox back 22nd. Also back there was Gallimore, who only made 280 laps. John Ross, DNF 24th. Kyle Holden was your first DNF very early in the race. Wilson, Huffman, and Christensen for tonight. We do have your race winner standing on by. Austin Cook gets the job done tonight, going from 18th to 1st. He also led the most laps here tonight after having not the funnest of first halves. Austin, you put on some good pace and dominating pace in the second half. How does it feel to win this race?
Man, it is absolutely surreal. I've never won anything like this before.
What was going through your mind in the first stages where you were up towards the front and then had that spin from the top down the back straightaway and then had to charge your way through the field to get to this spot?
Yeah, my spotter and my crew chief, Cole Dent and Robert Holder, we were sitting there talking about the whole race. That we had one of the fastest cars and we knew it. Just we hit everything but the damn lottery out there. We couldn't buy a break.
Well, you definitely made some breaks and got some great speed in the late stages there. Overall, though, what was that car feeling like in those late stages on the older tires and running away from drivers on newer tires?
It felt absolutely immaculate. Our setup was perfect thanks to Hunter Johnson. He's the one that got us this, and just for some reason, our setup was better on older tires than theirs. We couldn't really figure that out. We made a slight little wedge adjustment about it halfway, make it a little bit looser, and it ended up paying off for us, luckily. We were sitting there watching the cars on newer tires, and we knew that come late race, we'd be the cars to beat.
Well, on that note, anyone want to give a shout out to after you pick up the win, the biggest mover award, and the most laps led, $100 minimum payday unofficially?
Man, just got to thank, Robert Holder, my crew chief, Cole Dent, my spotter, Hunter Johnson for getting me the setup, and God of almost things. Just thank him for giving me this opportunity.
Congratulations once again on the win tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Austin Cook gets the job done. Second spot goes to Alex Coffey. Coffey is with Sky.
Hey, Alex, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Felt like you were all through the field today. You started on pole, got caught up in some incidents, went to the back. Tell me how you were still able to fight to get back up there at the end.
Well, I just had an extra set of tires laying, and my setup was really, um, I guess, better later in the race. At nighttime, it was built to be later. So the first part of the race, I was kind of just hanging on to what I had. Knew we'd pick up there at the end, but just needed a few more laps. Austin had crazy pace to be on the older tires. But he did a good job though.
Yeah, talk to us about that battle at the end there. You were on newer tires, but you just couldn't get close enough to make the pass.
Yeah, just I think maybe 2 or 3 more laps. I don't know. I kind of started. The closer I got, the more even we got. So I think a few more laps might have done it, but who knows? I was trying my best. That was all I had. So
All right. Do you have anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
yeah, shout out to Dig Esports. Shout out to all the viewers for watching. Big shout out to Off Axis for being a part of putting this on, and y'all for doing the broadcast, and um, everybody who showed up and ran the race. I know a lot of people weren't really super late model guys, but they showed up anyway, so they'd give it a try. So shout out to them. I think overall for all the mix of new people and just people that hadn't raced with each other and everything, I think it was a good race. We had a little rough patch in the middle, but we got some long runs in and what I feel like was a good finish. So shout out to everybody that ran tonight.
All right. Congrats on second place, Alex Coffee.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
And while we were talking to him, Justin has caught back up with our third place tonight, Lawson Parker.
Larson Parker coming away third spot tonight. You look to have the speed in the early going in this one, pull it away for a bit. What's going through your mind on the third place run in this event?
Really here, I'm just looking at the bigger picture. This was kind of a mock race I got a big show this weekend, so that's kind of why I was in here. So I got a pretty good look at what needs changed on the car, and I got a good feel for the track now after 300 laps. I know what to do, what not to do, so I'll take it.
So what does need updating based on what you're feeling in the race tonight compared to what you were expecting?
Well, to start, rolling off last in qualifying, I need to loosen the setup a little bit for my qualifying trim because got a little tight with all the rubber on the track coming out last. And then in the race, I just need to be more consistent and it needs to be a little more loose in the long run. But besides that, I really had no complaints for the car.
Well, overall tonight, how would you describe this race as a whole, this event, being a part of this event?
Oh, it was awesome. Coming in, not even really expecting to race it until earlier today, and let alone running for free. So it was a lot of fun. It helped me a lot and helped me and my spotter figure out what we got to do for the next one this weekend.
Any shout outs you'd like to give here tonight?
I'd like to shout out to my brother for spotting for me this race and helping me with advice and all that. Generator Source for sponsoring me, Caden Tufts Designs for getting this good looking car on the track, and then raceepi.com for giving me an awesome setup to work with here.
Once again, congratulations on the podium finish here tonight. You're $10 richer.
I'll take it.
Larson Parker taking third spot here tonight. I'd like to thank the whole top three for taking the time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on V-Speed. On that note here, Sky, what are your final thoughts on this one? As in the end, it's Austin Cook who leads the most laps after his struggles early. He ends up capitalizing late.
Yeah, he'll get the award there for winning the most laps. Also getting the award for biggest mover, going from 18th to 1st. Extra $25 still going to the pole sitter tonight. That'll be Alex Coffey started on pole, finished second. Least amount of incident points is going to have to go to a randomized wheel draw after this. It was a tie between Larson Parker and, yeah, they're going to have to figure out who won that. It was Larson Parker and Austin Cook. So there are your kind of final prize roundup, and our winner for the best paint scheme award tonight, 45, Caden Norfrey, coming on with $10.
Not bad at all for the paint scheme, to say the very least, but in the very end, some exciting racing all around, but it's time to say goodbye here on V-Speed. For my broadcast colleague and Sky Shrek tonight, and DJ Lyon, our producer, as well as to our camera pack provider, once again, Sim Wrap Market. I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. You've been watching the Off Axis Paint Snow Derby here on V-Speed.